And we are live, guys. Welcome to the show. It is the Indie Games podcast once again, and it is the third Saturday of the month, I do believe. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to the show, guys. It is an absolute pleasure to be back again, bringing that indie goodness into your life. This is a podcast dedicated to indie games, as you may have been able to tell by the name. So if you are a fan of indie games, you are definitely in the right place. And thank you for being here. Tonight we've got a packed show full of indie game goodness. Hashtag trademark. we are locking down that word. Yes, and we've got a packed show, as I say. We have got a little bit of a new look, slightly bit of a new look. We've got some amazing guests on this show, a lot of first timers. Actually, one first time for the actual officially, and one returning guest from a couple of returning guests who we had on the Indie Games Awards show, which was pretty damn cool. But yes, let me stop my rambling before it gets out of hand already. I just want to get into these introductions of our awesome guests, and then I'll give you a little taste of what we're going to be checking out tonight, and what indie games we have lined up, what topics, etc. we will be diving into. But like I say, let's get into the introductions. Starting off with a guy who has risen up in the community like nobody's business, a true gamer in my opinion, someone who is constantly working hard on his channel and always bringing passionate and positive gaming content to this community. Someone who plays a plethora of different types of games, which is awesome to see. He likes his AAAs too, but he does like his indies, and that is probably why he's here today, apart from being a cool guy too, of course. But I just want to introduce a good friend of mine, Fun Speculation, aka Mav, to the show today. How are you doing, buddy?
What is up, Indy? This is awesome being here on an actual podcast version of the show, because we did the awards show.
Indeed.
And I've been wanting to be on the Indie Games podcast by the Indie Gamer and talk to all these awesome people about indie games, because I do a lot of talking about AAA games, but I also do play indie games. I don't play all of them, right?
Sure.
I play a wide range of games, but there are a lot of indie games that I do love and spend a lot of time with. So it's awesome to get to spend time focusing on that and share some of my passion about that with you guys. And you have assembled an all-star panel here today. We got Goat Force, who's amazing as well, and he has a YouTube channel where he also plays indie games. So that's awesome.
He
we got
certainly
Puxley
does.
here from Green Pass. We got BJ. It's just going to be a lot of fun, dude. I'm super
Definitely.
excited.
Well said, my friend. Couldn't agree more. And thank you so much for coming back on. Like you said, it was the awards show where you came on and you were absolutely phenomenal on that. So it's great to have you on an actual mainline podcast effectively. Definitely one of my favorite peeps in the community. You're a great guy, my friend. And I love what you're doing.
You as well.
Oh, thank you, my friend. That's very kind. You just keep acting about what you're doing. You're growing. You're going to grow like nobody's business. I just want to quickly, before we move on, actually see what have you been playing lately, my friend? Anything been grabbing your sort of gaming attention so much?
Well, from the AAA side, I've been hooked into Division.
Yeah, sure thing.
Nobody's business, because the updates on that game, right?
Yes, indeed.
So as far as indie games, what I checked out the other day for the first time, Lonely Mountains Downhill.
Oh, nice. I love that game. That is a great hidden gem.
Yeah, I was playing that and I was like, wow, this is actually really good.
It's
like
so
super
good.
Fluid. The controls are spot on. It's like challenging, but just the right amount of challenging, I think. You know, you can take like shortcuts and discover your own shortcuts and stuff.
Yeah, I love that.
It's
there's tons of them as well, isn't there? There's tons of shortcuts. Yeah.
Awesome game, physics based, I would say, kind of, you know, sort of a racer.
It feels so spot on though, doesn't it? The way they've done it, it feels really great to play. And like you say, it's kind of the way they've done it is sort of like phase by phase, isn't it? Sort of like, so it's checkpoints, and it makes it so you can really perfect each area. I think I really like that game.
There's probably some people that have gotten insanely good at it, I would imagine. By now. That would be fun to watch.
Definitely, that is a great game. I really enjoy it. Actually, it's one of those games I always go back to and play some more of, just chip away at, and very enjoyable game. Nice, my friend. Anything else that you've been checking out, or has that been Division? I think I've noticed a lot of Division in your life lately. So,
oh, dude, I've been playing so much Division lately. That update is just insane. You know how that game plays right now. So it's kind of sucked us in. We've kind of made a clan on there and been really diving into that. I've been playing Halo as usual, like we do on Friday nights.
Yes, nice.
And then I just finished Hellblade, finally.
Oh, very nice, very nice, sir. That's awesome. What did you think of it?
Amazing.
Awesome.
So what I did was actually I played the entire thing in one stream.
Oh, I did see that stream actually. Yeah, I didn't
anticipate doing that. I didn't anticipate
so really.
that happening.
I thought it was going to be like let's set myself a target and do it in that.
No, I just thought I was gonna I'm gonna play this on stream and then just come back to it. But I was so hooked into the story and stuff, and like immersed into it that I just couldn't put it down.
Testament to the game itself, then, isn't it, that you've played it for that long and were so gripped? Yeah.
It was an experience.
Definitely.
It was incredible.
I bet you were a little bit freaked out, but after one sitting of like that heavy dosage, you know what I mean, with all the voices and everything, you're probably wandering around in like some sort of daze.
Well, all the voices in your head for that long as well. So
that's
when
what I
you get
mean.
the sensation of that, So I was about to start calling some psychiatrists.
Exactly.
And stuff, I think.
Yeah, it's definitely very well done in that regard. Nice. Well, it's like I say, it's fantastic to have you back on, my friend. Always a pleasure. I love your podcast, and all you do is fantastic content and positivity, and I love it. So thank you for coming on, my friend. Next up, we have my pleasure, bro. Next up, we have, as Mav just mentioned, a guy who is an up and comer on the scene, and he has his own channel too, and he focuses on streaming, and specifically seems to focus on the indie games, which I absolutely love. Obviously, that is, I wear that on my sleeve, that I love those indie games, and someone who is streaming them always gets my attention, and he's an awesome guy too. He has a lot of knowledge, and I've really enjoyed watching his streams so far. I'm definitely going to be watching a lot more of them, but he picks up some good hidden gems, and I think he's going to grow, go from strength to strength with his streaming endeavors. And like I say, he's on the show today, and it really is an absolute pleasure to have him, and I really hope that he blows up on the scene, because he's a great guy, and I'd like to welcome him. His name is Goatforce Gaming. How are you doing, Goatforce, bro?
Hey, thank you so much. It's really great to be here with all of you today. Really appreciate the invite to come on the show and continue to be part of this community, and just really appreciate all the kind words from everybody. I think we've got just such a tremendous community, and you're right. Absolutely. Yeah, I have been enjoying the indie games of the world. I mean, when you reached out to ask me to come on the show and talk about Rogue Legacy 2 for 3 hours, I thought, that's a big ask, but I've got
the other guys don't know about that yet.
Pages of notes, and I'm ready to dive in, man. So as soon as you guys are ready to talk some Rogue Legacy 2, let's just get into it. I'm sure
you'll get that in there many times today. Rogue Legacy 2 is looking sweet, my friend, and you're doing a great job of showcasing it, for sure. You've got me very much ready to jump in. I don't actually jump in that often on early access, I have to admit. I usually wait for the 1.0 release. Maybe that's something I will be changing in future, but at the moment it's early access, isn't it? So
it is, yeah, and I don't know the timing of the full release, but I'll tell you what, I feel the same way you do about early releases. This thing it runs smooth as butter. I have not run into that many snags in the gameplay at all. It's been a phenomenal experience, and I would strongly recommend it to anybody that's on the fence about early access in general. Nice.
That's very good stuff, my friend. Yeah, no, it does look fantastic. They've really brought up the visuals. Is one thing I've noticed, which looks really, really great compared to the first game, but I imagine they've done a lot more fleshing out as well. Too, but yeah, definitely that is well on my radar now to be jumping in on. And we've talked about rogue kind of games, like roguelike games. They are very addictive, like the Hades of the world. Hades is of the world, if that's even the right way of saying it. And we've got one lined up later, which is on the screen, which we'll be talking about, which is coming out very soon, known as Curse of the Dead Gods. So you're looking forward to talking about that one. I'm sure you'll bring some great takes.
You bet. Yeah, these types of games just really set the hook.
Definitely.
Got everything I look for. It's just a great loop to go through in those types of games for me.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. Fantastic. Well, thank you so much again for coming on, my friend. It really is an honor to have you on. And
the pleasure is mine. Thank you again.
You rock, bro. And moving on from there, I'm going to save my co-host till last. I'm going to move down to the bottom, and a very good friend of mine who I chat with quite often in some DMs. Many speaks about some cool games that I've recommended to him. One in particular, which he's been playing a hell of a lot of even. But this guy is someone who I call a friend and speak with a lot, as I say. But he's also an awesome gamer with a ton of knowledge, who always impresses on podcasts with phenomenal industry knowledge, as well as great insights about games he's looking forward to, etc. But yeah, it's always a pleasure to have this guy on, and like I say, I'd like to welcome VJ to the podcast once again. How are you doing, VJ, sir?
I kept myself on mute. I thought you were talking about somebody else.
I love it.
The bottom of the barrel.
You're the cream of the crop, sir.
I don't know. But no, thanks for having me on the show. And I am looking to offer some of my novice thoughts on today's topics. And Goatforce has a great voice, doesn't he?
Yes.
Shadow Nerd Hap.
Hey, thank you. Thank you.
He does indeed.
Brilliant. It's fantastic. Yeah. So I can't talk about the game you just mentioned because you know the first all about Hollow Knight.
You guys talk about it. Indeed. So I'm afraid I'm going to force it out of you. What have you been playing, Sarah? And I know what the answer is.
Well, I've been playing Hollow Knight for the last 2 weeks, and I really built up a fantastic rhythm.
Awesome.
And navigating through the whole thing. So, I'm pretty much completed my time with Hollow Knight. Just some housekeeping to be done before I conclude my time with it. But as I was mentioning you in the DMs, I played a little bit of PGA just so that I could rest the top of my right thumb. I got so sore smashing that X button. My goodness.
Yeah.
And then just holding in the nail art button and then trying to jump and hop around the whole screen is just on my head in. No, not just kidding. But no, fantastic.
Love it.
And thank you so much for recommending the game to me.
No, my pleasure. Yeah. This means a lot to me that you've checked it out and you've really fallen in love with it. You will see I've done a little little picture for you in a minute. You'll see a nice little surprise for you. It's not that you probably hate it, but but it's just so great because that game, everyone knows I go on about it all the time, but I don't just go on about it because it's some average game. It's a game that is truly remarkable, and there's so much to love there, and it's amazing to see that you've just really fallen properly into it like I did when I was so immersed in the game. It's just like you want to soak up every bit of it, you know what I mean? And that seems what you're doing. You're pushing for that 100%. You've passed the 100% actually, I think, haven't you?
Yeah, I have. Listen, that pick's not Nudes of Hornet, is it, or anything like that?
Close. Almost. I nearly went that far.
No, it's been a wonderful discovery experience and journey, I can say, and I for one am sincerely looking forward to discuss Hollow Knight Silksong with you in the future, whether it's on a show or privately. But yeah, I'm already I'm under the spell.
Nice. Awesome to hear. We will definitely be doing another show. I think we should do a Silksong specific show when it becomes a bit more like it might be. We get a release date perhaps, or maybe just at some point, because there's people like Puxley and Luke Steele who people would get on. We could get a group of us back on together, kind of like we did before, but get VJ in on this next time when we do that. And maybe if Mav finishes it off, he can join. That's the key in, I'm afraid, Mav. You have to beat it.
I'm working on it.
I'm only busting your chops. Yeah, no, you're playing it, so that's awesome, my friend. You're definitely going to get there, no problem. But yeah, VJ, it's awesome to see you enjoying it. It's a phenomenal game, and great to have you on as always, my friend. So yes, indeed. Puxley, I've nearly forgot you there, my friend. It's because I was talking about you. I should have segued from VJ to Puxley with a bit of Hollow Knight there. That would have been a smooth hosting move. But yeah, moving on to the last person who's joining me, who is the regular on the monthly show. So we're doing, as you know now, we do 2 setups where we have Puxley and myself on the 3rd Saturday of the month, and the 1st Saturday of the month it's me, Fastback and Coop. So it's always a pleasure to hang with Puxley. He brings so much knowledge, and he's so articulate and puts across his points so well. Always such a lovely guy to hang with as well, and his indie knowledge and passion is fantastic. And the fact he's making his own game too makes him pretty much the best co-host you could ask for. So thanks again for being a part of this, Puxley. And how are you doing, my friend?
Oh, I think you're selling me too much at this moment in time.
Never.
But no, yes, I'm doing very well, thank you. So this is my second proper show of being a co-host of the show.
I think
now.
it is
really
indeed.
Looking forward to talking indie games. Always love doing this, as I always say to you as well, and I'm really looking forward to tonight's show.
Brilliant stuff, buddy. Thank you very much again. And have you been playing much recently on the indie scene or any scene otherwise?
I have been, actually. A number of things. So AAA space, I've been playing Battlefield 5.
Yeah.
Going through the kind of single player campaign or the war stories of that, and obviously enjoying some multiplayer. Flap and I, along with Luke Steele and SX2, are also a team on Tushi Gaming's upcoming Halo tournament. So
nice.
we've been doing some practicing on that as well.
Very good.
And
So-
on the indie scene,
Yep.
oh, sorry, go on.
No, I was just gonna say, how are your chances looking? Are you confident?
We get proper cheesed off with Halo, if I'm perfectly honest.
Fair enough.
It's just some of the more old school shooter mechanics. I loved it back in the day. I've not played it for a number of years, but there's just those nuances to where you should aim and how the guns work and things like that. It's slowly coming back to us, but I think we're going to do okay. I'd love to say that we could win, but I don't. I think there's going to be much better people playing against us. So, but either way, it's all good fun. Good fun. So we're looking forward to that.
Exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, apart from that, on the indie scene, a number of things actually. I've been doing some achievement cleanup on both Super Lucky's Tale and New Super Lucky's Tale. I've finished Donut County. I played that, and that was really good fun. I've done some achievement cleanup on What Remains of Edith Finch.
Oh, very good. Did you get the 1,000?
Annoyingly, no. I got 900, and then I realised that the last one was to then go through and look through every single peephole and all of these little secret nooks and crannies, and I thought, I just can't be bothered to play the game again just for that. So
Great game, though. Great game.
To that point, I've really enjoyed it. I haven't played many walking sims, actually.
Okay.
But that was one where my partner and I were both, she was watching me play it, and I'm just sitting there just starting it. So I think it was on the previous show. One of the guys on the panel mentioned that they loved that game, and I hadn't played it yet. So I thought, you know what? It's on Game Pass, I'll give it a go. And I finished it in one playthrough. Like I sat there for the good, a good 2-3 hours, just slowly working my way through it and just enjoying the story. I thought it was really good.
It's very powerful, isn't it, as well? I don't know how whether it hit you, but it definitely hit me with some of those stories. Very evocative and, very well done. Very nice game.
Oh, definitely.
Good stuff, my friend.
And lastly, actually, I'm glad this has been brought up by VJ, actually. So I know we've spoken in some private DMs about this, but I have actually restarted Hollow Knight again.
This is the A team, my friends. This is the A team. Hollow Knight A team, bringing it together. I'm loving it.
Admittedly, I've not played it for the last 4 or 5 days, but I'm currently trying to take out the Mantis Lords. I'm at a point where I can do it, but it'd be easier if I carry on and then come back later. But I'm at this kind of point where I've played the game before. I want to give myself a bit more of a challenge this time around. So I'm sitting there like, you know what? I'm actually going to try and do these guys, but I've died about 10 times so far. I'd have to make the long journey back to get your soul back and all that kind of stuff.
That's amazing though. So you were thinking about whether you should start again. You decided to start again, didn't you? I think that's what you were saying to me at one point.
So originally played it on Switch. As I know we spoke about privately before. I think I had 98% completion on Switch.
Nice.
It was like, do I jump back onto that, like a 2-year-old save which I don't remember, or do I just start again? And I thought, you know what, let's start fresh. Let me do everything from fresh. I'm not have my mind warped by going, I've got all these charms, what do they all do again, all this kind of stuff. I thought, actually, you know what, I'll just start from fresh, get it all fresh in my mind as I play, and just enjoy the experience again, because I found myself forgetting where certain things were. So it's actually quite nice just discovering the locations again and going, I remember this, and all that kind of stuff. So I'm having good fun with that.
I'm looking forward to jumping back in again at some point, for sure. It's been quite a while, so it's nice to get back fresh to it, isn't it? Like, I think VJ's been playing it solidly so much. I think he might be getting to a stage where he might be feeling fatigued over it, because it's quite a demanding game.
But it can take all your time.
But that's awesome to hear you jump back in. Like Mantis Lords, that is an amazing boss fight. I think I remember VJ saying how much he loved that boss fight as well, if I'm not mistaken, if he is there. But that's it's a majestic fight, as VJ would probably say. It's got a lovely rhythm to it, hasn't it? It's very nicely done.
I like how it kind of builds up, trying to take out the first one first, and of course it becomes, not to spoil it for anyone, but it becomes like a 2v1 at the same time. It's
exactly.
Like, I know their patterns now, but there's 2 of them. And,
it elevates. It's just brilliant. Boss battles in that game are so amazing. But that is fantastic. Awesome to hear that. I'm just floating on air now. So the Hollow Knight love. But no, it's fantastic to have you all here. I know Goatforce has played Hollow Knight as well, haven't you, Goatforce? I do believe.
Oh yeah, loved it.
Brilliant. Well, there you go. We've got a full Hollow Knight crew here tonight. That is good.
I love the way you're checking everyone's credentials.
I'm checking their ID at the door.
No, stop them at the border.
I love it. Beautiful stuff. Anyways, like I say, thank you so much to all you guys who have joined for tonight. You know, you awesome guests, and it'll be such a pleasure to chat indie games with you once again. I have neglected the chat a little bit as always. I just want to say a massive thank you to all of you guys who have joined us in the chat. You're amazing. Always means so much to me to see such great people coming in and supporting this show, and ultimately supporting like the indie scene in general is what the way I see it. Because that's what I kind of feel like this is all about, sharing that indie love so people can, you know, find new games and stuff like that. That's my ultimate sort of goal. And so you get to sort of feel, you know, like you're discovering new games and stuff, and that's sharing that love between the community. That's what I love. So yeah, thank you so much for you guys coming by. I just want to shout out a bunch of you because you are so awesome. It is awesome to see Venomous in the house. Thank you so much for coming by, my friend. Fastback, as I mentioned earlier, he is a member of the panel of the Indie Games podcast too, so always great to see you in, brother. I hope you're doing well. I know you've been snowed under, and actually that goes from Mav too, so I hope you're all again in your neck of the woods there. I do believe you're recovering a little bit, but yeah, good to see you in, Fastback, brother. And yeah, Master Mayhem, great to see you in. Stubbs Gaming, awesome to see you as well. Mike from NLG, always a pleasure, my friend. And Meisuko is in the house. Awesome to see you, Meisuko, on a podcast for the first time the other day. Doing awesome, my friend. Keep it up. And who else have we got in? HTK from NLG. Awesome to see you, brother. Elk Dude is in the house. Thank you so much for coming by, Elk Dude. The new name and reband I'm getting used to. Dragon Wolf is in the house. Thank you so much, Dragon Wolf, for coming by, my friend. It's always great to see you. And who else have we got in? Caitlin is in the house, of course. Don't forget Caitlin ever. Great show last night with, you know, obviously you're part of the Expert Ultimate podcast and Mav's endeavors, so you guys rock big time as a team. And awesome to see the Living Flame in as well. Always a great support of the channel and a fan of indie games. Great knowledge from this guy here too. But yeah, thank you so much everyone who's in. One more guy I'm going to say I've just noticed is Pong Soul. Thank you so much, Pong Soul, for coming by. Absolute legend of the podcast community. Always brings hard facts and awesome passion to shows. And thank you for being in the chat today, my friend. But yeah, thank you so much everyone who is here. We are going to get cracking on with this show and jump into kind of our first kind of topic. It's kind of like what I'm trying to do with this first one today is kind of like a news-ish sort of segment. So I'm going to get through maybe a few different sort of like mini nuggets of topics and of what's been happening lately, because maybe they don't warrant a full discussion about all of it, but we are going to get through a few, and I'm just going to let you know about a few of the interesting things that have popped up recently, because there has been a little bit of news knocking around the gaming community, which is nice to see because it's been a little bit drier. But we did have like the Nintendo Direct, and also there was a little bit of news from Playtonic. And yeah, but let's just get into that. I'm going to move over to the next arena, and I'm going to show VJ's little present. There we go, VJ. I've made you a custom avatar based on your banner, that is. Instead of your cup of tea for once. But yeah, I think you deserve to have a bit of Hornet. I know you're in love with her, so... He has admitted it pretty much, so... But yeah, hope you like it, sir. But yes, we are gonna... Lovely. Good. I'm glad to hear that, bro. So we're going to move on into this. First up, like I say, there was some news recently from Playtonic, who are the developers of Yooka-Laylee. They announced that they are opening a new sort of division of their company, and that is known as Playtonic Friends. So what it's going to be is a publishing arm of their own company, which publish out-of-house indie games. So they're going to focus on small indie gems, and on the screen you're actually seeing 3 of their partners already. So the games you're seeing are trailers from those developers. So we've got who they partner up with so far, which has been announced, is All Interactive, who are developers of BPM, Bullets Per Minute, which is the one on the screen at the moment. The one that was up first is A Little Golf Journey, and that is I can't remember the name of the developer now, which is terrible with me. you on that. That sounds completely made up, but it's true. Okie Dokie Co. or something. Yeah, it's Okie Dokie Co, I think. And they're developers of The Little Golf Journey, as you saw first up a minute ago. We'll come back around. And the third developer they teamed up with is Frabaz, and they are a New York developer who created precision platformer Slime Sun. And so they're playing with three partners they've had so far. Like I say, this publishing arm of Playtonic is all for out-of-house games. It's none of their own games. They're still continuing to make ukulele and stuff like that. They have still got their core. It's kind of similar to Double Fine Presents back in the day when they had that out-of-house publishing thing, and also Feardemic, who are an out-of-house. They are for Bloober Team, and Feardemic publish out-of-house games for them as well. So it's a similar sort of setup they've got going on for that. And so for some reason it's just gone really small for some reason. I apologise, that will come back now. But yes,
we're having trouble with the audio.
Oh really?
The chat is saying
Really? Game volume? Oh my god. That's brilliant. I just wasted all that time. Thank you very much for letting me know. Sorry about that, guys. That was I didn't realise there was going to be game volume on there. That should not have been up at all. I apologise for that, guys. Oh dear. So I'm just going to recap that quickly. So if you didn't hear any of that, Playtonic Friends has been announced by Playtonic. They are a publishing arm which are going to focus on out-of-house games, small indie gems, and they have announced three partners so far of small indie developers who are publishing 3 different games, and they are all interactive, the developers of BPM, which is Bullets Per Minute, and Frabaz, who are an indie studio in New York, and they've made Slime Sand, which is a very small slime sand on the screen at the moment for some random reason. And then I think it's because it's 720p video, that is why it's come up smaller, I'm just guessing, but it will come back round. The rest of them are 1080. And then finally, Little Golf Journey is the other game which they have teamed up with so far. But that is one of the little nuggets of news which has become a big nugget of news so far. But yeah, I mean, also I just want to quickly go on to the next part of this. These announcements, which is we also had a couple of directs over. Well, a Nintendo Direct, and we also had one that snuck under the radar for a lot of people, which was the Epic Games Showcase, which may or may not have gone under your radar. But in the Nintendo Direct, there was a lot of obviously main first-party games, but also there were a few indie announcements, which I'm just going to go over quickly now, which one of which was Fall Guys that is coming to Switch. And which is also, that brought the news in the greater on Twitter, etc. announcement and a new trailer for the fact that it's coming to Xbox too, which is fantastic. Many people have been craving a bit of Fall Guys action. It's awesome to see it coming to Switch and Xbox. Also, we got from the Nintendo Direct, Outer Wilds is coming to coming to Switch as a Switch port, and also a Hades physical release was confirmed too, which you're seeing on the screen at the moment, which is pretty cool, and that's coming on 19th of March. So yeah, sorry about all those technical difficulties, guys. There was not supposed to be any audio up then, but I'm going to pass this over to you guys. Is there any of this, what I've just mentioned, you're excited about? The Playtonic announcement with the publishing arm, or any of the other stuff regarding, you know, the other announcements? Fall Guys perhaps coming to Switch and Xbox, Outer Wilds coming to you know, the Switch, and also Hades physical edition. I'm going to pass this one straight over to Puxley. Is there any of that grabs your attention, my friend?
Yeah, you know what, I was actually kind of pleasantly surprised to hear about the Playtonic kind of becoming Playtonic Friends, well, rather having the publishing arm of Playtonic Friends, because
yeah,
when I thought about it, I thought, you know, Playtonic Games was originally made up of ex-Rare employees that wanted to go off and do their own thing. They created Ukulele.
Absolutely, yeah. I thought that might interest you. Based on your avatar, it should definitely interest you.
I love those games. Yeah,
yeah.
I have the first one on Switch, and I've really enjoyed playing it.
Nice.
But it was just kind of nice in a way to kind of maybe, or at least from my point of view, without looking too much into it, you kind of highlighted how well they must be growing. Because, you know, again, there was a small arm of ex-Rare employees wanted to do their own thing, which I thought was a really interesting thing to do. Obviously, they kickstarted Ukulele back in, I think it was 2015 or whatever. Obviously, then I've gone on to make Ukulele Impossible Lair. I believe it's what it's called.
Yes, indeed it is, yeah.
I know they've got something else in the works based on Ukulele as well, so that universe is kind of nicely expanding. And then when I saw this arm that, oh, by the way, we're also going to help publish other indie titles, and I thought, okay, that's fine. That's quite interesting. And then, as you mentioned, like beats per minute, for example, was one of them, because I know that's got a lot of hype at the moment from what I've seen.
Yeah, bullets per minute is the twist of it. BPM, it's bullets per minute there. Yeah, but beats per minute is the twist.
Bullets per minute.
Yeah.
Like the Doom / I don't know, Guitar Hero mix.
Exactly. So basically, bullets per minute is like a rhythm-based game. It's a roguelike as well. But yeah, it's like you shoot on the beat and stuff like that. Coops actually played it as he said it was a good fun. It's a good soundtrack to that game as well. But yeah, it looks pretty cool. It's got a good bit of hype, like you say, definitely.
I just kind of thought, you know what, these games got a good bit of hype, and I thought, oh wow, Playtonic, or rather the developers have, I don't know, accepted to deal with Playtonic Friends to say, actually, yes, I would like to work with you to publish the game. And I think this can only be a good thing, because I think Playtonic in themselves were relatively small and unknown unless you knew Ukulele.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
they're kind of growing to the point where actually I think they can help, new indies get discovered more, because I think the more publishing arms you have in the indie space, the better, to a degree, of course. But there's not really many branches that I think, or if people don't take much focus of indie games in the first instance, it can usually be quite hard to be discovered, especially if you only have like one or two publishers to maybe choose from. So I think having more in the pool, and maybe having one UK based as well, would potentially help broaden that horizon a little bit more.
Definitely.
Which I thought that was kind of really good news.
Yeah, definitely. And it's quite interesting. I was thinking that because like you said again, bullets per minute is not really their usual kind of look. So it's like they're going for small indie gems, but they don't have to necessarily fit in with their, cartoony aesthetic that their main studio is, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's a really good thing to point out, actually, because I think there's a lot of publishers out there which they only accept games which are kind of like the image they try to portray and the types of games they're known for.
Yeah.
So it's very nice to see that these guys have actually gone, you know what, we only have Ukulele. Well, they might be more that I'm not aware of, but they only have Ukulele under their belt. It's very popular. People like it if you're into 3D platformers. And you know what? Actually, we just want to help you guys, the indie devs, try to break the scene. So actually, what? As long as we like your game and we see it has potential to sell, then we're going to show it. And as you say, I think games like bullets per minute, sorry,
yeah, that's good.
Are very good examples of that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, the other game as well, A Little Golf Journey. I actually played that the other day as part of the Steam Festival demos that I checked out, and that is
I missed it, unfortunately.
Do not worry, my friend, no problem at all. It's actually a really lovely, relaxing game. It's just the name is perfect for it, A Little Golf Journey. It's just lovely and relaxing, and there's nothing stressful at all in it. It's just based on being relaxing, and it's like just like playing a bit of golf, but it's story based. It's nice. I like it. There's quite a lot of twists on golf. Yeah, definitely. There's quite a lot of twists on golf going on lately, I think, with different styles of like comedic golf. There's all sorts of things going on with the golf games, which is pretty cool.
I don't know what it is for me, at least, but I mean, in terms of when it I can't remember the Tiger Woods golf games that used to come out back in the day. I was never really into those, but like games like the more funny ones, like Everybody's Golf, for example, like I loved those series, and all those kind of wacky golf games I always really liked. So I don't know why.
Definitely, you should check out What the Golf
with Friends.
Golf with Friends is good too.
I played that on one of Tushi Gaming's gaming nights one time. That is really good fun.
have you checked out What the Golf?
No, I haven't yet, actually.
That is really good. That's better than Golf with Friends, in my opinion. But Golf with Friends is good because it's just silly, if you know what I mean. But What the Golf is silly as well, but it's better, if you know what I mean. It is craziness. It's complete bonkers. But like with Golf with Friends, I think the enjoyment comes from a lot of you playing at once, and it just being like, you know what I mean. That's sort of. Multiplayer makes it good, if you see what I mean. If you play it on your own, it's a bit boring, I find, Golf with Friends. But yeah, I mean, I find that What the Golf is really cool. It's on Steam. and it's on Switch as well. So yeah, if you want to check out what the golf, it's a fun sort of craziness of a golf game. But yeah, moving on to cover the other things quickly. I wonder what your thoughts on Fall Guys coming over to Switch and Xboxes.
You know what, I was pleasantly surprised to see this on the Nintendo Direct Showcase, because I mean, I know there was that kind of timed exclusive deal with PlayStation / obviously it coming out on Steam on PC.
Yeah.
But then for a long time, like for me, like Fall Guys is the definition of a great Switch game.
Definitely.
Just, you know, because it's cartoony, it's funny, it's simple. You've got people of all ages which have the system, people that love playing these games. And like, my partner and I, we both watched the showcase together, and even she was saying that, oh my god, it's coming to Switch, that is the perfect game for it. And I was like, yes, I agree, you're totally right.
As long as they get the infrastructure of the, you know, online play sorted, that's the only worry for me for Switch, if you see what I mean.
Yeah, I know the Nintendo back-end kind of online network is a bit old school, I think. I know there was some reports about that more recently, wasn't there? But I think there are some upgrades in the works, and hopefully that's not going to be too much of a bottleneck between, you know, playing it on Switch and enjoying the online experience. So I'd like to think that maybe they've got that down to a degree.
Definitely.
Hopefully it'll be a good experience.
It'll be cool if it's crossplay as well. I don't think they're going to do that personally, but, you know, it'd be really cool if it was crossplay, you know, across all platforms.
It's a perfect game for it, because again, you're going to have a lot of people maybe already have it on PC, so they might not want to double dip and get it again on a different system.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
For me, it's the kind of game that, you know, I use my Switch a lot, like
cool.
docked and undocked, you know. So for me, it's great to take the system out and just sit on there in bed or on the sofa or whatever else, or out on the go. When we could do, at least, but you know what I mean.
Definite.
So it's definitely the kind of thing that I will definitely be double dipping into and playing on Switch.
Yeah,
it's the perfect candidate for cross-play. Otherwise, you don't want to have a game which has all this potential, but nobody's bought it because they already have it on PC or PlayStation. So
absolutely,
I hope it does well.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's almost transcended being an indie game now, but you know, you have to get it in there as well, I think. You know what I mean? It's grown a lot. I think they've probably added quite a few people to the team, etc., etc. But yeah, good to see it. And obviously, you haven't jumped into Hades yet, have you? But like, there's the physical edition, which looks pretty cool, and that, in my opinion, is obviously just shows again how good it's done. I think it's like when you get a physical edition later or like a collector's edition, it sort of proves that the indie game's done well in a way, if you see what I mean.
You know what? As soon as I saw that Hades physical announcement, this might sound weird, but I immediately thought of yourself, because I know you're such a big fan of this thing. And it came with like like an art book it comes with?
Yeah, that's what I'm interested
in. Stuff.
I'm just interested in the art book, really, actually, because you get the soundtrack and you can get that downloaded, and it's only a download. I just like the look of the art book, really. But so you get, like you say, it's a Switch version, physical version, and you get a download link to the soundtrack, and you get a 32-page compendium of all the characters, which looks actually really nice in the images. But yeah, I'd be cool if they did a real like full art book on it. I would definitely get that, if you know what I mean. But that
when
cool.
I saw the physical announcement, I definitely saw that as my chance to jump in at that point in time. I've got such a big back catalogue of things. I can't keep piling more new stuff on. I'm trying to just I know I can obviously not play certain things, but there's a number of things I want to play, but then I've obviously got to make room. I've only got limited time, like most people that have to work. So.
Yes, indeed. Absolutely.
I think once the physical one comes out, I think that'll be the time I properly jump into it. I promise you.
So let's book it in for March the 19th. That's when it's coming.
I've got to play Super Mario 3D World when that I know it's already out, but I'm probably getting it. It's my birthday next week, and it's one of the things that I've put on that list there. So
fantastic.
I'll be jumping through a few more things, I think.
Yeah, whenever you get to it, it's gonna be a good ride for you, I promise. I'm gonna slide this right over to Goat Force, actually, to maybe fall off the back of what Puxley just said about Hades, because Goat Force has some good experience in Hades. But other than that, what did you think of what have I just said? All the announcements that have popped out recently, Goat Force Pro.
So I haven't played Fall Guys yet. I would definitely like to get to that one at some point in time. I've watched a bunch of it, and it looks like it's a fun game to play. Going back to what you were talking about with the Playtonic stuff, I did look into those dev studios, and beats per minute, bullets per minute. That one, I know that one fell off my radar screen. I saw it, and
roguelike as well.
Never stuck it on a wish list, and I thought, oh yeah, this one. So that's one I definitely want to play. I think that's all good stuff that those games are going to get highlighted a little bit more. Yeah. As far as the Direct, like I was saying before we went live to you all, I would have liked to hear the word Metroid or Star Fox or Punch-Out. I think there's been some great games on the Switch overall, but there's still some properties that I'd like to see come back in a refreshed version. Yeah. So I did give Skyward Sword good try, and I believe it was Mav that pointed out earlier that holding up that controller. Some people enjoyed it. I don't know that was the experience that I was looking for out of that game, but maybe I've got to go back to it and give it another shot. So always happy to see more games coming. But there's a few properties that I'd like to see come back soon.
Definite stuff. Yeah. So how does that? If you're a Switch player, or are you say you are? Yeah, you do. Yeah, you are. Sorry. So you thinking of picking up that Hades for physical edition, or are you more of a digital guy?
Lately it's been more digital. I'm glad it's coming out for collectors out there that like to get the art books, and I mean, the art in that game is so incredible.
Yeah,
so
that's why it's enticing.
Really fabulous. But I don't know. I got my time out of that game. I really played the hell out of that game. So I don't know that, I need to get a physical edition of it at this point.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I'm not one of the kind of guy. I mean, I love that game, but I don't need to buy it because it's a Switch version anyway, and I don't really play the Switch much anymore. I would just love them to, like I say, release a really good art book, and I'd buy that kind of thing. That would be really cool. But yeah, Fall Guys is damn fun though, buddy. Great fun with friends. Played some with Coop and Fastback, the other guys from the Indie Games podcast. We have a great time doing it. It's just craziness, and they're always updating. So yeah, it's definitely worth jumping on when that comes out. I mean, do you think it's something you would jump into?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, in the U.S., I don't know if it came out that way. We had a show called American Gladiators, and there's an event, right? There's an event at the end called the Eliminator, and that game reminds me of the Eliminator every time.
Love it.
So I'd definitely jump into that.
Good stuff. Fantastic, buddy. Yeah, that's excellent. Just going to move before we move on. Just going to shout out a few more people. Luke Steele is in the house. How are you doing, Luke? Great to see you always, my friend. Thank you very much for being here. I think I might have said Mike from NLG is here before, but yeah, thank you very much for coming by, Mike. Apong Soul, Stubbs Gaming, awesome to see you. Graphic God is in the house. Awesome to see you, brother. Thank you for being here. Matt Burns has popped by. Thank you for coming by, Matt. You are a legend. And also, Smokeback Official is back in the house, and Marion the Mad. Fantastic to see you guys back in. Thank you so much for being here. Cool stuff. So yeah, let's move this one over to my man Mav. I keep doing it. I look at the screen, I say fun speculation, and it comes out every time. I don't know why. I'm going to have to put a sticker on the screen that says Mav. But I want to move it over to Mav this time and see, what do you think about these little juicy nuggets of that have been brought out recently? The Playtonic, Fall Guys come in, Outer Wilds to Switch, and all that other juicy goodness.
Yeah, well, those nuggets be juicy.
Good stuff.
Well, so Playtonic, I think, is one of the cooler things because first off, you have more investment in games, right? So that's the really coolest thing for me from all the things that you just talked about. You have a studio that's going to have their own flavor of things that they're looking forward to publish, and that's going to mean in the future going forward, more games are going to get funded, which is a good thing for all of us, because one thing we all love is games, and I love when we hear about these studios that are having success and they start investing in games more and they keep growing. It just is a good sign for the gaming industry and indie games also in general, that we have this flourishing thing going on right now where it's like there's another avenue for somebody to get their game made, right? And every time you hear this, that happens. So that's awesome. I love that. I wouldn't say necessarily I'm super excited about any one of the three that they announced there, but that doesn't mean that in the future there's not going to be something that they make that's going to be a gem that I'm really excited for. So that's number one for me, and I hope that helps them grow and also invest more into what they do as well, as a developer, because it's all tied together, the same business, right? So I think it's really good for them. So also Fall Guys.
Yep.
Super excited that that's coming to Xbox, because that was one of those things that's like it hit PlayStation and it hit PC.
Yeah.
And then me being primarily an Xbox gamer, my daughter being primarily an Xbox gamer, we were pretty much left out of that.
Yeah.
And she really wanted to play with her cousins and her friends who all play on Xbox. So that's going to be awesome, being able to have that on Xbox and get to play that game with her, because we have like Xbox pretty much in every room in our house right now. So my wife can play, she can play, I can play.
That's so cool.
It's going to be a lot of fun. So that was the other thing. Just selfishly,
that's cool. Yeah, no, it'd be cool if it's crossplay. I wouldn't mind keeping my progression that I've got on Steam already. Not that it's the end of the world, but but if it's not, then it's all good, because it's just a blast anyway. It's not like you're leveling up some like, you know, heavy systems, like you can't, you know, like in maybe what you would do in Division or whatever. You know what I mean? It's kind of like it's just aesthetics and stuff. But
just turn on the game and play a quick
exactly
couple games, and then you can be done with it and move on. I like games like that. You know, it gives you like a little, oh hey, I'm gonna go see, and if you win, hey, it's an amazing thing, right? But it's just silly fun even if you don't.
Absolutely, yeah, no, definitely, it's good to see. Lots of people were crying out for it, so it's good that it made its announcement for this summer. That's what it's been confirmed before, Switch and Xbox this summer for Fall Guys. Pretty damn cool. So yeah, like, and it is really cool about you know, because they're Playtonic, they're focusing on the small gems as well, which I think is really cool. They're like, they want to keep that identity with those people who are making games in small teams, and bring them with a little bit of helping hand sort of thing, just to, you know, give them that cushion to help them make the game they want to make, essentially, which I think is a really cool thing. And it's good to see. Yeah, I think they've got more to announce as well, so I wonder how many they're going to take on. But yeah, definitely really cool. And was there anything else you wanted to add to that, my friend?
No, I'll say that just real quick. This technically isn't an indie game, but announced at the Nintendo Direct was Project Triangle Strategy, which is a working title. That's a weird name, so I'm sure it's going to get a name change. But just to see, and I think it's because of indie games that a game like that is getting a chance to be published and made by Square, going back kind of to the roots of some of the stuff that they did back in the day in the PS1 era. I am super excited about that game because it looks like Final Fantasy Tactics, and that was unveiled at the Nintendo Direct.
Nice.
So that was my biggest thing I was excited for to see.
Very nice indeed, my friend. That is cool. Yeah, so it's good to get a little bit of news and some cool little announcements, like I say. If you did want to check out, by the way, there is a Playtonic video of the announcement, and it is really funny. It's very lo-fi, and it's intentionally lo-fi. Yeah. They made it like like a Discord call, or a what do you call it, Teams call or whatever. So it's like really low resolution, and they're just talking to each other on Teams or whatever. And then I just got like party food, and it's like, because it's their 6th anniversary as well, by the way, guys. So it's on the day of their 6th anniversary they announced this. So yeah, it's funny anyway. It's just a little announcement which came along with it, which is great, I think. But yeah, VJ buddy, what is your take on this? What do you think of the Playtonic thing, and like I say, the other announcements that came out, the Outer Wilds coming to Switch, Hades physical edition, and Fall Guys coming to Switch and Xbox.
I think listening to Mav, I think he hit on some important points that kind of set my mind wandering. The Playtonic stuff. I mean, I don't know too much about them, so I'm sorry if I'm like out of the ballpark sort of thing. But
That's
it
all right.
really reminds me of gathering of developers initiatives that took place back in the late 90s, which then subsequently, I think Take-Two took a stake in them. Large stake in them.
But if you wanted to quickly, I don't know if you knew this or not, but they are made up of ex-Rare employees who made Donkey Kong Country. You knew that probably, I imagine. But yeah, so it's a pretty cool pedigree anyway.
Yeah, it's just obviously back then, Take-Two took an interest because obviously, there was no digital distribution back then, right? And God, even though it was made up of several sort of developers, they still needed a large publishing company to ensure that their games that they were developing and producing still reached the four corners of the globe. Obviously the landscape and distribution and logistics structures completely changed now in this era, right? 20 years on almost, but it seems like it was yesterday. But even though times have changed, you cannot underestimate the importance of the PR and marketing. It can make or break your game, if not most games, regardless of budget or where they're made. But in terms of, I did have a quick look at the PR announcement piece from Playtonic. Right? Someone said Platonic. Is it Playtonic or Plutonic? Because
I say Playtonic. Playtonic is what I say. Yeah, I think it's Playtonic because playing and all that.
Yeah, it is Playtonic.
Yeah,
I think Platonic has a different meaning.
Platonic would mean like a different kind of relationship. Yeah, exactly. Be the opposite. Yeah.
Anyway. But I can see that just reading the sort of PR battle cry or the invitation that they've kind of sent out, right, to attract and engage, not just announce what they've done, but if you look at it, it's kind of worded in terms of, hey, look, we're here, we are, and we're willing to engage all independent developers with good ideas or concepts, no doubt, right, and for them to reach out to Playtonic because they're a very, very cool company, right, and I mean. At the end of the day, I think, as Mav was saying, all right, there's all what I think he was alluding to, or kind of circulating the point sort of thing, scoping it out, was that there's always strength in numbers, and that's for sure, especially when you're sort of potentially looking to sort of prime yourself, and I'm sure that they are, right, for investment capital, which in turn, as Mav was saying, provides long-term stability, growth, negotiation power, and all that sort of good stuff, right? And so, especially if you want to get to a point where you're kind of making the games you truly want to make and or publish, right? So, and on the flip side, investors of any sort, like diversity and a number of titles, right, or commercial opportunities within a given company, because it reduces risks, and so. And a lot of developers struggle to get investment in because typically they have one game on the go, and investors don't want to, sort of back a one-horse track, so to speak. But even though Playtonic, it's based in the UK, right?
Yes, indeed. They're very much English. Like when I watched that video, it's very much like I'm watching someone I know, if you know what I mean. It's very.
Sorry, my thoughts wandered off. I was just saying, Del Boy would used to say his birds have been around the track more times than a lurcher. Anyway, that's a separate thing. But I think for now, definitely with this announcement coming out. And beforehand, I would say that Playtonic are far more sort of in a potent position, a more attractive company, and no doubt are trying to build out a business that has value, opportunities, shows growth, and potentially a long-term player in the industry, or potentially even a target for acquisition. But that's probably a way off, right? But perhaps more so. And again, I'm not as well versed as you, and you can chime in. Feel free to do so, or anyone in the channel or in the chat or the panel can do so. But I think that it's like, it's not that different from what they've got their sights set on in terms of what I think Devolver or Annapurna Interactive have built up over the last few years. As I said, I'm not knowledgeable enough in regards to the ins and outs or ongoings and motivations of those two particular companies, but I'm kind of seeing, similarities, especially when I look at Annapurna. From what I sense, they come from a place where they strive for the passionate discovery of artistic content, and it was only by coincidence, because they've got games like I keep mentioning these games to you on the chat, and you say, "Yep, that's Annapurna." And there's something there that's attracting me to those games, because they don't, they're not labeled Annapurna games. It's just after the end of the trailer, or after I've done a little research, hang on a minute, all these games that I'm really looking forward to are by this publisher. Right?
Annapurna definitely have a sort of like a style, if you know what I mean. It's kind of like Devolver have a style. Annapurna's definitely that artistic sort of story-based kind of vibe, but definitely the artistic sort of element to it.
I think that they fundamentally, because they are so well funded, or their parent company is so well funded, they are definitely into this indie game scene, because they passionately want to discover artistic content. They want to bring to fruition, I would say, in terms of commercial release, that's fine, and commercial success, that's fine, but I don't think that's first and foremost for them. They've kind of either positioning themselves, or perhaps in some people's eyes have already earned the sort of, what can I say, the accolade, right, of a publishing savant. For me anyway, right, that's how I see them, less profit orientated, but more so for, as you were saying, Indy, the love or the legacy or the je ne sais quoi of it, right, as Del Boy would say. What I mean by that, if you're not familiar with the term, is it's a quality that can't be described or named easily, right? Especially since I haven't had a cup of tea yet. But in terms of
outrage, where's your fuel? I'm shocked. I'm shocked.
In terms of, I don't want to drag on too much, because I can go on and on and on. But in terms of Playtonic's sort of exact plans, evaluating their vision and creative nous, or the spark or the wave of success that they can create, given in terms of the trajectory that they're taking their business on within the gaming sector in general, and more so sort of maintain that consistency and standard, right? That the other two that I've mentioned, and it's really difficult to judge all of that, right, based on what we know at this moment in time, and it's a really hard thing to do. But the topic that you raised, I think, is a really interesting one, in terms of, often people say, "Oh, this guy's an indie gamer, they've left a big studio," but this is a really good example of people leaving a big studio, making small games, doing some work for hire, and now effectively getting back into that sort of circle of, completing the circle of becoming a large company within themselves, right? So, that's like the cycle of evolution, if you kind of understand what I'm saying. So, I have no clue what I'm saying. But anyway, it's a really interesting exercise to sort of monitor especially over a long period of time, and it's really good that we're in this. You've raised a topic on your channel, and that we're here to kind of witness the trajectory of that business, which I have no one knows how it's going to play out, because the gaming industry is so risky, right? But perhaps we can. A lot of us perhaps already believe, right, that they can definitely be a creative and a publishing bastion of sorts, right, going forward, right? So they're definitely a great topic. I think so. And in terms of Nintendo shows, sorry,
that's all right, no worries.
I think for me, I've already kind of got what I really, really wanted from Nintendo in terms of Mario Galaxy. I know Puxley's a fan as well, and and the other one which kind of obviously piqued my interest, because obviously you talk about it very passionately, is Hades, and I know it's on PC, but I don't game on PC, so I do have a Switch which I game on. Otherwise, where the hell would I play Mario Galaxy?
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, definitely that's the one that was a standout. And I mean, let's be honest, not a big surprise really, is it? With the install base that hardware system's got. So, but yeah, definitely looking forward to Hades.
Very nice, my friend. Yeah, no, you won't be disappointed with that game if you jump in. Absolutely awesome, and great takes as always. Yeah, it's no, it's great to see. I think it's not. I think the risk is quite low for Playtonic. I think it's a nice addition to their company, and it's sort of, I think it's nice they're fostering the talent and the small team. They're focusing on those small teams and helping them realize their vision, essentially. But yeah, really cool. And did we get everyone? Have we got everyone on this? Sorry, I've lost my plot now. I think I've got everyone. Have an eye on this topic. Did we?
Yes. I believe so.
Sorry, guys. So, I lost the plot.
I had the same issue.
I
can't remember who I was.
Yeah. Let's go around again. Yeah, but that was fantastic, guys. Yeah, definitely awesome to see all that stuff. Hope you don't mind me just bundling it into one. I'm trying to sort of make it into a condensed sort of news bit so you can take the nuggets as you please. But that's fantastic. I really enjoyed that. And it's great to see the chat interaction on this too. A lot of people excited for Fall Guys. Venomous is definitely looking forward to some Fall Guys action. Stubbsy is definitely looking to get in on the Fall Guys train, the hype train. It is such a fun game, and with a big community it will be fantastic. Smokeback Official is definitely jumping on board. Matt Burns as well. So yeah, it's Fall Guys has become something amazing, and it's just a game that's captured a community and really is a lot of fun to play in a light-hearted sort of way. So it's good for all the family, which is fantastic. And Mav's got the perfect setup for that. We have Xbox in every room. Sweet. That's the way to play it. Good stuff. So yeah, that is fantastic, guys. So we are going to move on from there as another sort of like I said earlier, there was also another sort of showcase recently, apart from the Nintendo Direct. I wonder if anyone actually knew that there was a Epic Games showcase recently, which they put out as a video. Did any of you guys know about this?
This went completely under my radar personally. I saw the messages the other day. I was just like, what? What showcase?
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was quite lucky to find it actually, because I was on there just looking at the store, and it was on the store. It said it was the showcase sale they were doing, and I was like, showcase? And then I looked it up, and then there was a showcase recently, as I say. But most of it was stuff I'm not really interested in, the usual, crap, basically, free-to-play games in the middle. But two things in the showcase were absolutely awesome, in my opinion, which looked really cool. And it was sort of bookended by two great things. And that was at the start, this game called Binary Smoke, which was announced as part of this showcase. That was the actual announcement, a fresh announcement from the game Binary Smoke. And at the end of it was... it was, like I say, bookended. So at the end, there was Axiom Verge 2, which is confirmed for PC now, which obviously was pretty much assumed, but it was only announced for Switch so far. So now it's confirmed to be coming to the Epic Games Store. However you feel about that is up to you. It's an exclusive, but exclusives exist in this world, I'm afraid. If that is, it's just the way it goes, I guess. It won't be forever. I think it'll probably be a year on the Epic Games, and then it'll come over to Steam, I think they've said. But yeah, I'm just gonna actually maybe, if you want to, if you're really looking forward to Axiom Verge 2, feel free to talk about Axiom Verge 2, but what I'm going to focus on my attention on is this new announcement from Binary Smoke. The game is called Binary Smoke, excuse me. And
there was a
this is
time
the trailer
before
you're
the
looking at
false
now, which I
promise
think
of the
was
digital
absolutely
singularity.
awesome. Really cool cyberpunk
Before we were
aesthetic, and I think
corrupted by
someone
those
like Pong
with the
Soul
power
might
to
actually
fully
be
and
right all over this,
completely
because he
manipulate
likes the
the
cyberpunk
masses.
aesthetics, I do believe.
Time is
But yeah, if you see
now
him,
gone.
shout out to Pong Soul. But
Yet,
yeah, I think it
some
looks
of
really
us
cool.
saw another
They've
way.
sort of announced,
We called it
they
the
put this
binary
trailer out
prophecy.
as open
A way to escape a world
kind of
where fear
sound again.
is the
Thank you very
weapon
much.
aimed at the misunderstood.
Thank you very much, Jards. I saw you that time. I'm doing it a different way, so it's supposed to make it easier, but it's making it a little bit more tricky because I forget the sound thing. But thank you very much, Judzilla and Master Mayhem, for letting me know. Okay, so I'm having to keep an eye on an extra part of the mixer. So anyway, you don't need to know that. But there we go. Thank you very much for letting me know. Oh my God, I will know this for future, doing it in this method. But it auto plays it for me, so it is easier. So I don't have to keep starting new videos. It does it auto. I've done it pre, but I have to mute that one ahead of the show. Anyway, so yeah, getting back to it. Binary Smoke looks really cool. They've said I actually did a little bit of digging and found a bit of info on it, 'cause there's not much at the moment. I found a Reddit post from the actual developer, and he was saying that he said, this is our new game, and let me know if there's any comments. And people were chatting about it, and he said that it's kind of a mix between like an Inside and a Hades. Obviously, why not choose the two best games ever?
Sure.
But I do see where he's going with that, actually. If you look at the
Hollow
trailer,
Knight feels slighted right now.
Yeah. But he said those two games combined with an open world cyberpunk dystopia, which sounds pretty damn sweet to me. I think the trailer has a really cool look to it. It has the atmosphere of the trailer looks really, really cool. But yeah, I'd just like to fire this one around, and we can continue to chat about it, see what you think about it. Who's up first for this? Maybe Fun Speculation Mav. Would you like to have a little chat about what you think about this game? Does it grab you by the ghoulies, sir?
Yeah, it grabs me by the ghoulies. It looks pretty cool. I love the aesthetic. It's got that, like you said, cyberpunkish type. Like, what was that? Aeon Flux almost. Remember that? The Ascent.
Yep.
Also, it's got this kind of super neon style that is really cool. Epic made published one of my favorite indie games, and that was Shadow Complex back in the day.
Nice.
So this, I mean, it looks like side scrolling, but then it's not, so it looks like it's gonna be a different take.
Exactly.
Just the aesthetic. I when I watch this, I see that this is gonna be a well-made game. It looks like you can just kind of tell.
Yeah.
And that gets me excited for it. Other than that, I don't know a lot about it.
Yeah.
Other than it looks really cool.
Exactly.
So
yeah.
I'm excited to learn more and see more videos about it. And I see lots of abilities and stuff. Like you just saw her use
dash.
Yeah, you got the dash, you got like the deflector shield thing, and all that kind of stuff. It looks like it could be a lot of fun.
Definitely. Well, so like just to give you a little bit more, they've stated about the game is kind of divided into two separate areas. It's got like adventure sections with a tighter sort of focus on storytelling and puzzle solving, and open world type areas that are more action sort of combat focused. And yeah, I can see the Hades sort of gameplay thing going on, especially with the dashing, obviously. And I do get the vibe of what they're sort of saying. Just to let you know as well, guys, this is made by how many people do you think are making this game, Mav?
I don't know how many, but I know they are ex-Bungie employees.
That's correct, sir. Well done.
Also has me excited.
Well played. Yeah, he's done his research. I'm applauding him. So it's actually a two-person team, which is a surprise to me. But impressive. Yeah, that came from the horse's mouth from the actual developers. So yeah, pretty cool. I mean, they may well have this. That might be just with the core team, and they might have other people like contracting or whatever. But still, I don't know whether that is the case. They might be. He did state he's doing several different roles, and that's often the case. Obviously, if you're a small team, you do several roles. But yeah, impressive. It looks polished, in my opinion. It looks nice. I love a bit of dystopian cyberpunk. I think it has a lot of potential. Anything else you wanted to add at all, my friend?
No, just excited to learn more. I'm curious, this is their first game then, right?
Yes.
So that should be interesting, to see how it does, because
definitely
again, you have, if this is successful, that means we get more from them.
Absolutely,
Right? So,
yeah. So, like you said, they've obviously got good experience in the industry, and that's where this is coming from. It's kind of an Ascent sort of situation again. They are ex-AAA developers, and they wanted their independence, and they wanted to make the game they wanted to make essentially, and that's what's happening again here, which is pretty damn cool because we get some sweet-looking visuals, and I'm sure some good gameplay, hopefully.
and cool name too, Binary Smoke.
Yeah,
definitely cool.
Definitely pretty cool. Yes, it's got a lot of steeped in stylish visuals, I would say, and like cool name. Yeah, definitely. Cool, good stuff. Let's move this one over to Goat Force next. Did you catch any of this? Did you know there was a showcase happening for the Epic Games store essentially?
I stopped by the store. I didn't know they were doing. I saw that they were showing off some games, but I didn't know that it was a showcase necessarily. But I did take a look at the video, this one, and Foggy Neons is what I come away with. It's got such a neat look to it, and I get infamous Second Son vibes from it. If you think about the neon powers that you get eventually, where you're sucking it in from the electronic signs, that's what it reminds me of quite a bit. I think the call out of Eon Flux is spot on, that Mav pointed out. So this one looks good. In one of the sections it looks like it could be kind of like a thumbstick shooter type setup. I'm interested in learning more for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I think it has a lot of potential. It's kind of it's just got the style, hasn't it? But I think the gameplay looks like it has potential too, which is really obviously essential. But yeah, no. What was your? I wondered if you might be. Please, I didn't check this with Mav, but like Axiom Verge 2. How does that grab you, sir? Have you Axiom Verge fan?
I definitely played the first one. I enjoyed it. I like Metroidvanias quite a bit.
Me too. Yeah.
I did watch the trailer for the sequel, and I'm sure that's a game I'll get to.
Good stuff. Yeah, it's good to see it's coming to PC. There are still people who downvote every exclusive Epic Games game now, but at the end of the day, it's business, isn't it?
You know what? I don't have a dog in that fight.
Yep.
I just play the games. I don't care where they're at. And honestly, because I don't have a dog in the fight, I'm good with Epic. Epic has given away so many free games.
Exactly.
I probably have 35 plus games that I haven't paid a dime for. So I'm good with the Epic Store. I think those folks have been great giving away those games.
Exactly, giving away so many. And on that note, actually, at the moment, guys, you can get Absolute Drift and Rage 2, I do believe, for free on the Epic Games
Rage
Store.
2.
But definitely pick up Absolute Drift. If you've watched quite a bit of my channel, you will have seen Art of Rally, one of my favourite racing games of the last few years. That's Absolute Drift is the game he made before Art of Rally, so check that bad boy out, and if you want to see the origins of that game. But looking good. I'm the same as you. I mean, a lot of people get funny about it. Maybe it's because they're so used to, on PC, they're so used to having Steam, if you see what I mean. I mean, it is a bit inconvenient, I have to admit, but I'm not going to cry over it, because they've got to do what they got to do for their own business at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
They do, and you know what? Competition is good for us.
Yes, indeed. Absolutely. Yeah, well said, my friend. No, fantastic. Let's move this down to my man Puxley. How does this one grab you, sir? Did you play Axiom Verge 1? Does that announcement please you? And what do you think of Binary Smoke?
I'll start with Axiom Verge first, because this is a game I'm aware of. I've heard really good things about it, but I've never played the first one. So, and I was already aware of the second one anyway. I don't think this is the first time we've ever heard of it. So I believe this is from a single developer. So always good to see, a one-man band doing very well, releasing a second title across different platforms. But I say, unfortunately, because I haven't played the first one, I'm not it doesn't strike me as something that, I'm really looking forward to this game. But
yep. So for Axiom, you're talking about Axiom still, yeah?
That's Axiom Verge, sorry.
Yeah, sorry, just to clarify.
But it's I'll try to dip my toes into it at some point in my life. But as I said before, many different
I have
things I'm
to
trying to get
admit,
through.
I haven't. This is a bit of a fraud moment, but I haven't played Axiom Verge 1. But I know it's a game that everyone, it's got a lot of love, that game. But it never grabs me. I almost bought it again the other day. I always look at it like, I'm going to get it now because I love Metroidvanias. But there's something about it that just doesn't pull me in.
You know what? I'm kind of with you on that one.
Oh,
and
really?
I'm kind of thinking about it. Yeah, I mean, it's not that I've really wanted to play it, but just haven't had the time to. It's a bit of that. But then I'm with you in the side of, it just never grabbed me as something I felt I really wanted to play. And as you say, unless friends or other people online have said you need to play this game.
Yeah, I have a feeling it's kind of. I have a feeling its strength is in the game design. If you see what I mean, like Hollow Knight, the game design and the world that is so strong. But Hollow Knight has so much other things which is strong as well. I feel like the visuals are a bit standard in Axiom Verge.
You know what? That's kind of, I think, what's putting me off as well.
Yeah.
I know if you're a one-man band or a small team, especially if you're inexperienced, things like pixel art are relatively a lot quicker and easier to create in terms of the assets than it is to make, to draw your own art, for example, in Photoshop or whatever else. But the indie wave of games has got pixel art all over it now, to the point where I think a lot of newer developers, if you're trying to release a game like for real to seriously try to sell millions of copies, I think you need to be more creative in how you use pixel art rather than just generic pixels and this is clearly the character that you control. It's like, but what's special about it? Why does this style not suit that one?
I do. I agree with you. Yeah, because there is a lot, you've got to stand out from the crowd now, and pixel art was like a go-to sort of easy option, like you said. But there are there's different levels of pixel art done in different ways. It's not always the same.
That's true as well. Yeah.
So but I don't want to slag it off because I'm sure it's an amazing game. But that is my observations for pulling me in, and I think you might have a similar feel about that. But
oh no, definitely, I'm not slagging it off at all. I mean, I've heard great things about the game. And as you say, if I was to sit there and actually play it, I'm sure I'd probably really enjoy it. But
exactly.
But most of the time, I think as players, whether you're into the scene or not, I think you have to like it aesthetically to at least attempt to grab you in. I mean, you mentioned Hollow Knight a minute ago, which that was a small team as well. But but one of those guys happened to be a fantastic artist.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
When you look, so the main characters in something like Hollow Knight, for example, they're actually very simple. If you look at it in isolation against the white background, it's just a few circles and a few rectangles which have got a few like bends here and there. Yeah. And there's actually no real shading on the characters either. It's actually just bold colours, like the clothes are just a purple colour, and the nail is just a simple grey, and the skull is white.
Look what's popped up on the screen. You probably have a little delay.
Yeah, but I can see it now. That's what I mean. So it's very simple, but then I think with something like Hollow Knight, I think what helps sell the simple aesthetic in the characters
it is simplicity,
is the fact that the environmental art is actually very detailed.
Yeah,
and it sets that difference. Whereas a lot of pixel art games I've seen more recently, at least, again, I'm not slagging off Axiom Verge at all, but it all looks the same rather than having well, at least from what I've seen of it. I know what you forgive me for those who have played the game
exactly.
and actually telling me that it's really good, but
I think it might be in the design and the gameplay perhaps. I totally get where you're coming from, but how about with Binary Smoke? Does this grab you it's got this open world dystopian sort of setting, obviously this is the ideal thing, but is Hades kind of gameplay crossed with a bit of inside? Does that that should grab anyone, but does it grab you, my friend?
Well, you know what? I did some looking up as you was introducing it originally, and I saw the trailer as well. I'm watching it now as well, but I very quickly watched it before it was on the screen as well. And I know before you mentioned Hades, my first instincts were this looks like Inside mixed with a bit of Diablo, mixed with a bit of Persona in there. If you know what I mean? Like there's that scene where he's kind of going through some small city street. You've got all the pedestrians going up and down. You've got the neon signs on the left and right. Yeah, as you say, I can definitely see where the Hades part. I look at that and I think Diablo first. I'll be honest. Yeah, but I appreciate it's obviously from an indie perspective, it is more akin to Hades gameplay.
Yeah, and it's fresher in the mind for people, probably a fresher, younger audience or whatever. They might get that. You might because this is quoted directly from the Reddit post from the developers. So that's what I've got that from, by the way.
Yeah.
So yeah, he might have just been explaining it that way. But yeah, I think it looks pretty cool. I mean,
I really like the look of it. Actually, I'm quite. I think, as Mav said a minute ago, I'm actually quite intrigued to find out more about it. I did actually look on the website. Actually, a company's called Outside Game Studio.
That's
for those
right.
who maybe didn't catch that.
Yep. Sorry. Yep.
But they also say that release is apparently due spring 2022.
Yeah.
And what I
that's
find
it.
interesting about that is that we're due. I mean, I'm assuming, correct me if I'm wrong here, that because this is coming to the Epic Game Store. Sorry, that I'm assuming this is made in Unreal Engine 4.
That's a good question.
I
didn't
can't
hear
find any
it,
information
yeah.
on it, but I'm assuming because it's coming to Epic that it might
Oh,
be
of
made
course,
in
yeah,
Unreal.
that would make a lot of sense. Yeah.
If anyone does know, please correct me in the chat or whatever.
Yeah, let us know.
I mean, looking at the aesthetics and just some of the lighting and colors, I get the vibe that it's coming from Unreal Engine 4.
Yeah, it's got good
But seeing as, like,
good reflections and stuff in the.
But seeing that they've said that it's also coming out spring 2022, I'm wondering if they would potentially spend more time maybe upgrading to Unreal Engine 5, perhaps.
Yeah.
Because, as you say, these are seasoned AAA veterans that are making this game. So
Yeah.
I can't see, given things like neon colors, for example, I think would do very well with things like ray tracing and that kind of thing. I appreciate there's a lot of artistic effort and technical effort to get that to work.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
because these are veterans doing it, not just kind of new people jumping in. I do wonder what this game would look like with the extra graphical edge, with the more power of the new Unreal Engine 5 once that comes out. I think it's spring this year, I believe.
Yeah,
so I'll be interested to see maybe where they take this in the next year or so in terms of developing it to a final product.
It would work well in some, it's got, I think like HDR would be great for it as well, whether it's
definitely, yeah.
It's got like a lot of vibrant bright colors and sort of brights and darks, sort of the deficit between those. But yeah, nice, my friend, that is fantastic. Definitely good takes there, my friend. And VJ, sir, what is this looking like to you, buddy? Are you a fan of the dystopian settings? And have you checked out Axiom Verge 1 firstly? And are you excited for Axiom Verge 2? And how does Binary Smoke grab you, sir?
Oh my goodness, so many questions at once.
So many questions. So many questions for just one simple question. I asked 5 questions for one question. That's the problem.
Oh dear. Something at the beginning of the topic that you mentioned about Pong Souls, attachment or engagement with cyberpunk. So I think I also found myself sort of reminiscing and recalling to a high degree, especially in regards to cyberpunk. I spent, I think, close to 100 hours in that game. I really enjoyed it, and in terms of like, where did my mind go to when I saw Binary Smoke? I'm sure there's some other games as well, but years living in Asia, where I think even perhaps Puxley will say, it's strewn with with neon signs and so on and so forth, and and imperialistic control. But anyway, and especially like the TV show I watched, I don't know if it was last year or the year before, just time just seems to just speed on by as you get older, was Altered Carbon, and from a personal point of view that I'm very much looking forward to 2 games, which are Stray and Backbone. So that's where my mind is my thoughts or my consciousness is wandering off to. So the look and the feel, and I would say the soundtrack as well, perhaps the direction of the game does have me intrigued, even though I don't know too much about it, and I'm not as well versed, and I haven't looked into it as much as say Mavin, yourself, and Puxley and Goat Force. I don't know. I really find it awkward to say Goat Force. I feel it's I don't know why.
Goat is fine.
Goat, yeah.
He prefers the goat.
The goat, yeah, that's brilliant. I should change it. That's brilliant. Bit arrogant, I suppose.
I just think of those goats, those Richard Attenborough shows where he's got a goat on the side of a cliff and he's like on a rock with his tiny rock, got 4 legs on it. He's trying to hop 10 feet above him, and he's like, how the hell is he going to make that elevation? But anyway, what's important at this stage is the mission and pursuit to sort of elevate the awareness of such games, and perhaps all the games being discussed today and in the past and obviously the future. And that's what makes the Indie Gamer podcast and channels like it so important. Sorry about the shameless plug there, Indy.
That's quite all right. So I will never complain about that.
But echoing Goat's sentiment, I'm gonna have to practice that word once I've finished this program. I'm not pro. I've heard about the exclusivity and stuff like that, and I'm not pro Epic, Steam, Sony, Nintendo, or Xbox. Even though Xbox, I still feel that have a lot to learn, and I expressed that on Boom Show. I'm just pro gaming, right? And as and when and up, on certain formats, and Goats, I was chatting to him pre-show, and he was talking about the specific game he was playing at the moment, but he's got 5 others on his mind, right? And correct me if I'm wrong, Goat. If
no, you're right.
Yeah. So even though Xbox and Epic are trying to say and showcase, especially at this time, in this specific sort of time frame of time and space in time, in terms of where we are in the games industry, it is maturing somewhat and consolidating. It actually is consolidating before it's actually maturing, and those two are specifically trying to showcase to developers through their financial ability, which is not a moral achievement at the end of the day, that they know how to civilize the gaming industry through acquisition and hence exclusivity. But this reminds me of the British Empire and other empires, and it's and their sort of pretension to help and evolve and civilize communities and the human species and countries and so on and so forth. When it's all just about sort of stealing, slavery, and colonizing, and in order to dominate and self-serve. But that's big business for you at the end of the day. But actually, sorry, India, those were notes for a different podcast.
I love it. That's good stuff, buddy. So yeah, would it be something you would dive into, do you think? I mean, is it whetting your appetite for some taste of it? I know you like cyberpunk, so I mean, but
I'll be honest. I'll be totally honest, India, and I'm not trying to blow smoke up your ass. And I know you love that sort of thing.
I love smoke up the ass. I love it. Especially after a shower, you dry yourself that way. Way off the rails now. Now we're getting
What is happening?
Podcast as well.
Now the show's starting.
Well, the views have gone up 20.
But my point,
all down.
If you haven't noticed already, is that if I'm stuck as to what to play, and I probably will be after I complete Hollow Knight, and and after I played PGA Golf as a sort of a palate cleanser. And I know that I said to you that I teed up Spiritfarer, but if I'm at it and I'm about to press the start button and I'm not feeling it, then I'll probably reach out to yourself and others in the community and just ask, like, what are you playing and what's interesting and what are you enjoying about it, and then take it on, on recommendation as to what to play next. And I think when it comes to indie games or certain gems or certain games that change your perspective on game design, development, not necessarily whether it's made by one person or 500, but something that will give you a long-lasting in terms of engagement and fond memories, then I'd obviously reach out to yourself. But shameless plug over.
I love it. I love it, sir. That's wonderful as always, my friend. And yet, sorry, Dazzy, baby, I didn't say hello earlier, I don't think. I don't know if you were here from the very start. Maybe you came in a little bit after I did a shout out. So I just wanted to say hello again, bro. How are you doing, Daz? Thanks very much for being here, sir. And Judzilla is in the house too. Check out Judzilla's awesome music on his channel. He deserves so many more subscribers than he's got. Definitely awesome stuff. And Daz's awesome streams of racing games are fantastic. Definitely check out Daz as well. But yeah, that was fantastic, guys. Really enjoyed talking about this game. I am excited for it. It's gone on to my growing and very long list of upcoming indie games that I cannot wait for. It's forever growing. But yeah, I think we might start with getting some releases coming up this year soon. I think some of the indie games I've been waiting for I think they might start to slide out this quite soon this year. There might be a few things like Artful Escape might sneak out in maybe a month or 2 or 3, maybe 12 minutes, maybe. You know what I mean? It's going to start to happen soon. You don't get those announcements early with indie games. You get it a month before usually. By the way, this is coming in a month's time. So they will start sneaking out and being upon us, and there'll be many games in our lap, even more than we have now. But can't wait for all of that to happen. There's so many great games on the horizon. But awesome takes on this topic, guys. Really enjoyed that. So we are going to move on. If I ever forget anyone, by the way, just shout and say if I've forgotten you, because it's my worst thing if I forget someone. I hate it. But yeah, I don't think I have forgotten anyone this time. So yeah, Binary Smoke, I think it looks fantastic. Really interested to see more on it. And yeah, hopefully next time, we'll see a deeper dive or a... bit more in-depth gameplay or something, but definitely has my attention. Give it a follow on Twitter, guys. Check out their website. Definitely looks cool. Hope you guys like the look of it as well in the chat. Let me know what your thoughts of Binary Smoke are in the chat, if it's up your street, if it's caught your eye. But let's move on to the next topic, guys, and we are going to be moving on to kind of the flagship topic, I guess you would say, of the podcast.
Welcome to a roguelite,
the main
unlike
title topic, at least,
experienced before.
and that is
in Curse
for a game
of the Dead
known
Gods,
as the Curse
you
of the
face an
Dead
ever-changing
Gods. If I can say it right, I will
filled with
read say
deadly
that. Curse of the Dead
and
Gods.
monsters,
There we go.
which holds promises of
getting my
untold riches,
tongue-tied there.
dark
But yeah,
secrets,
Curse of the Dead Gods
and
is coming out
divine
very
powers.
soon. It's been in early access
god
for
of death
about a year,
himself
I believe.
has corrupted what was
but the
once
actual
a
full
city of
1.0 release
turning
is
the
on the
revered
23rd of
deities
this
into
month, and it's
evil
coming out on
guardians prowling
PC
in
and
the
all
shadows.
consoles, which is pretty damn sweet.
Delve
So they're
deeper with
releasing
every
across the
run
board.
to collect treasures,
Just quickly, my
weapons,
mind has just
and
gone back
powerful relics,
to, oh my god,
while
I've done it
uncovering
again.
the secrets that
Can't believe
await in the darkness.
Sorry, guys. I did it again, didn't I? Oh my god, I need to mute all of them next time, right? I'm sorry, guys, and thank you for warning me once again. This is like a disastrous situation that I've done 4 times in one show, I think.
I did that before as well, Indy, using
Really?
the same method I think you're doing.
Yeah.
I had Gears gameplay in the background.
Right.
And
You had
I
it on
was
the
talking for
autoplay, did
about
you, kind of thing?
3 minutes at least.
Yeah.
without
It's so annoying. I think that, like they say, because you've got so many different tracks of on the mixer, haven't you, of audio and stuff. So I think you need to just stay off. I'll need to just mute that section before, because I didn't realize it has actually had an audio attached to it. Usually what I would do is actually have a separate screen and play from that screen, but this sort of auto plays it, so it should be easier. But next time it'll be spot on, guys, because I'll remember, I promise. But yeah, cheers, Matt, for the sympathy, right? You're making me feel a bit better there or whatever. But yes, we're getting back to Curse of the Dead Gods. I think this game looks fantastic. Like I say, it's coming out on... I was going to actually comment quickly. Venomous asked me a question earlier and I forgot to answer it, and that was about the last game that we were just looking at, and he said, what platform is it coming to? And it's coming to Epic Games on PC at the moment. And they have actually said it will definitely come to consoles, but they're working out that at the moment because it's quite a big thing to do the porting, especially for such a small team. So it potentially may come to consoles after. Sorry to just come back in with that. Just wanted to let you know, Venomous, because you asked that. Back on to Curse of the Dead Gods, though. And this, like I say, is coming out on the 23rd of this month, as I've said many times now. It's a roguelite game, dungeon crawler. Many people, I'm going to say it, I can't help myself. It's got a little bit of a Hades vibe. I think a lot of people will probably be thinking that anyway. And that, in my opinion, is an awesome thing because it, looks fantastic. It's okay to be a little bit inspired by games. They might not have even looked at Hades and they might have come up with this themselves. We don't know. Whatever it is, it's got its own identity too. So it's not just obviously a copy of Hades. It's looking really good. The art style so vibrant, really cool gameplay style. Like I say, with the roguelike action. I believe they're calling it roguelite again. It's a few of the features to give you a better perspective, guys. It says it's a skill-based roguelike exploring a cruel dark temple made of endless rooms and corridors. Swords, spears, bows and guns. Wield these and many more. Light and fire will be your best allies to overcome the threats that lie in the shadows. There's 11 fighting styles in this game, which is pretty damn cool. I'm guessing that may be similar to sort of like Hades having the six different weapons you have in Hades. Potentially 7, so you have lots of variety in the gameplay there, which is really cool. You have bosses in this game too, which is awesome. And lots of enemies with powerful champions, and like I say, lots of bosses. There's big bosses. There's a final boss they're adding in now because of the early access being over. But yeah, personally, I think this game looks damn awesome, and I'm really looking forward to jumping into this. I tend to hold back on early access games and wait for the full release. Like I say, that is very soon, the 23rd of this month, and it's coming out to all consoles and PC. So I'm really curious to hear what the panel and also I'd love to hear what the chat think about this game. This is, like I say, coming out to console too, so if you're not just on PC, then this will be within your grasp to grab, guys. But yeah, let me know what you think about this in the chat, if this might be something you would grab. But I'm going to pass this one straight to Goat Force, because I know he's a big fan of roguelike games, and I think he's quite keen to get his hands on this one. So what do you think about this, Goat Force?
I was sold on this in the opening 5 seconds.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Treasures, weapons, and relics. Oh my! First off, I want to say this too. When they zoom in on this protagonist's face, I get really strong Darkest Dungeon vibes, and that's one of my favorite games of all time. The artwork looks similar. It's also a dark game. They talk about needing to light baskets at times, and being able to use those and other areas as traps. To your point, all the different weapons and play styles, and it's just got that loop that I like, where you do a run, maybe you do well, maybe you don't do so well, but you come back with some gold or whatever kind of currency they have, and you spend it, and you buy some stuff, and that's going to enhance your next run, and it's just this really nice loop where you can jump in, jump out again. You don't have to pay attention too much after you've played it a few times. I think you know what I'm getting at. If you think of a Hades-like game, right?
Exactly,
it becomes rhythmic. You don't even have to think about it. Yeah. And it's it's therapeutic. This is a therapeutic game. I think this is a comfort food type game for me. So I was immediately sold. I just have to figure out a way to get through Rogue Legacy 2 and some of these other games that I'm playing before I dive into another roguelike.
Sure, yeah.
Roguelike, whatever we're calling it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the thing about these little beauties is that when they're really good, you can get hundreds of hours out of them, can't you? And if they do it right.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing.
Yes, indeed. I think the art style in this game is really nicely done. I feel like the combat is looking really nice and tight and satisfying. You need to get hands-on really to feel that, but you can sort of get a sense of it by looking at it, I feel. I feel that this game has got a lot of potential. And yeah, definitely a good one actually for people who are craving that Hades goodness and they haven't got the console to match or the PC to match. If they're on Xbox, for example, or PlayStation and they want some Hades vibes, then this is perfect, I think, for people to jump in on.
Oh, cheers to that. Yeah. Totally agree.
Yeah, cool, man. Good stuff. So you think you're going to be sticking with your Rogue Legacy for a while? Are you going to jump in on the 23rd or?
The jury is out.
Still deciding.
I might get pulled in the direction really hard. I guess it depends on how much I've chewed up on this new update they just rolled out the other day. It is a beefy update. They've added quite a bit, and I'm having a ball with it so far. So tough to add another game to the mix that I think, like you said, it's going to be awesome. And I always struggle if I've got multiple games that are really pulling me in.
Definite.
So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how far I get with this new update, and I'll probably make a decision based on that. But if I don't get to it that day, I'm definitely going to be getting to it.
Awesome, bro. Yeah, nice. I totally understand that, because I'm in actually a similar position, because I haven't done all I want to do in Hades by any means. So I'm in a position of like, if I go over to this now, then where am I? You know, because these types of games, they, you know, you can, like I said earlier, you can spend so much time in them, and yeah, that they can consume you in a good way, of course. But yeah,
I mean, if I'm having fun at the party I'm at, it's hard to leave that current party, right?
Exactly. But then you can finish that party, and then tomorrow night or like next week you can go to another party and that can be
Absolutely.
So that's your plan.
Absolutely.
I love it.
Yes.
Good stuff, bro. Well, that's fantastic. Yeah. Okay, then let's move this one to Puxley next, I think. Have you seen much about this game, Curse of the Dead Gods, Puxley, bro? And does it look like something you might jump into?
Short answer is no. This one has gone completely under my radar until a couple of days ago, when I think you originally brought this up on a private DM a while back. But this is immediately something that I would definitely love to play. I mean, I know every time these kind of gameplay things come up, you always say Hades, but like I said before, I always think Diablo.
Yeah, so you go for the original one. Yeah, if you know what I mean. Yeah.
Because it's made like Diablo 2 days, and obviously Diablo 3. I put a lot of hours into those. Love the play style, and look, like games like Torchlight as well. Like if we're talking like kind of like aesthetics here as well, I get some Torchlight vibes here. Obviously, that has a very Diablo-like gameplay feel, and equally as Goat just said as well, that you know I haven't played a lot of the game, but I've seen a lot of footage for Darkest Dungeon, and I can definitely see. Like, you know, you've got the very bold blacks, you've got like that kind of comic book vibe with it, and as you say, especially when you zoom into these characters, it's very, very well done. Like again, it's simple yet it's detailed, if that makes sense. Like there's not much color and real detail going on, but a lot of that magic that I really like the look of is because of the fact it's got those bold colors and the sharp outlines, like a comic book style. And I think like it really sells the vibe, because you don't really see too much of that art aesthetic anyway. I mean, outside of like the Telltale games, you know, those kind of things.
Yeah, it's got a bit of that vibe. Yeah,
you kind of see the art style in that series all the time, but I haven't really seen it a lot elsewhere personally. So I quite like that it's got a mix of different art styles and gameplay feels of it. And this is definitely something I'd love to jump into. Yeah, for sure.
Awesome stuff. Yeah, no, great. It's going to be coming out in full, like I say, on the 23rd. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm glad to hear you like what you see, and great little.
I did also read as well. It's also coming to Switch actually.
It is indeed. Yeah.
Sorry, I don't remember if I heard you. I might have missed.
Sorry,
I said it earlier.
I said all consoles. Sorry, I said it lazily.
Oh, sorry. No, that's my fault then. But yeah, I think it's great. It's coming to all of them as well. I'll definitely be jumping in on one of those platforms.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you tend to spend quite a lot of the time on the Switch. Then would you say this kind of game is quite good for that sort of thing?
I haven't done more recently. This kind of game, I would definitely consider playing on something like Switch.
Yeah.
Because I don't know about anyone else on the panel or in the chat, but when it comes to bigger games, I sometimes find it difficult to constantly jump between larger titles on like an Xbox. I'm sitting there, and I know when I'm holding an Xbox controller that I've got a few hours to go in whatever title I'm playing, and then to constantly jump between other ones for hours on end.
Definitely.
I can sometimes lose track and then almost give up on one of them because I'm then more invested in the other one. But then games like this, especially if I had it on something like the Switch, I'm more inclined to jump in and out whilst playing other games as well. Yet I'll still enjoy it because I know that I'm picking it up and I can play it whenever I want. Absolutely. Or wherever I want, more specifically. So
yeah, these games are great for that, because like what you'll find, like you probably know this already, but like with like roguelikes, you can play tactically a bit. If you want to play a full run, depends on the game how long the run will be and how well you'll succeed in. Obviously at first you probably will start and you'll go a little distance and then accrue some like currency that will carry over, then you're able to upgrade, etc., and then make yourself stronger and stronger and stronger. Obviously you probably know all this already as playing roguelikes, but sometimes you can just go, well, I think about do a tactical run and I'll just go for the cash or whatever. This is, I'm thinking like other games, I imagine this is probably what this is like as well. I'm going to go and focus in on just getting cash and like bring that back, and then I can upgrade more, and then next time I'll go to try and beat the game or whatever, you know what I mean, that kind of stuff. So that's what the beauty of it. So it's good to just jump in and out, maybe maybe one run in between stuff, which is pretty cool. I like these games for that kind of thing. But yeah, nice, my friend. Glad to hear what you like, what you see with it. Anyways, excellent. So I'm going to move over to VJ next for this one, because I don't want to make him last every time. That's not fair. He doesn't deserve to be last every time. So VJ, bro, what would you reckon to Curse of the Dead Gods? Does it grab you, my friend?
I want to be totally honest with you, because let's start with all this, because I know you mentioned about at the beginning, you mentioned something about what's inspired this game, and I just wanted to say something on that all games and ideas that have come to pass beget and inspire the ones that are going to come in the future. So
100%.
So therefore, I have no issue with what has influenced this title. I'm interested in how well it was conceived, how gracefully all the ideas of the team were played with, and the vision and the execution of the project. I think that's fundamental, right, and really important. And that's why, we do our best, right, to support, especially indie games, right, who don't have
definitely
who are not listed companies, that don't have public money, right? It's private or individual savings, right, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
But obviously, I know that, and I believe, and please correct me if I'm wrong, that Focus Media or Focus Interactive Media are involved, a French publisher or a Belgian publisher.
Yeah, they are French, I believe. Yeah.
So I'm not.
But yeah, just quickly to take off on your point. I hope I didn't come across like I was saying it's just a copy. That's the last thing I meant was because, but like you say, you're exactly right. Games are like iterative of each other, aren't they? They take things, put a twist on it. Like that's always the way games work. Really, it's no game. I can't think you could probably find any game these days which hasn't got influence in some way, but from another game in the past, and then twisted on it and then built on it. And that's just how we're always getting newer and newer, better and better games, kind of things, because they're always developing those like mechanics and stuff. But yeah, I just wanted to make sure I didn't come across like I was just saying it's copied.
No, absolutely. And I think the point that you're making, and it's an important one, and we're not saying that every game copies every game, but those influences are not just from games. They could be from movies, books, TV shows, or travel, photography, a sound, a dream, whatever, and everything. I mean, a game is made up of a myriad of elements, right, and or facets, and and they are influenced also by the lives that the creators have lived, right. But I think I'm getting off topic here a little bit, so sorry. So yeah, I'm not. Hey?
That's it. That's all right, my friend.
Okay, cool. It's just I want to put the rest of the panel to sleep.
No, you never do that, my friend. You always bring awesome stuff that we never want to rein you in, sir.
I'm not entirely familiar with sort of roguelike games. Perhaps I am. I do play Diablo on my nephew's on my Diablo 3 on my nephew's Switch. I have no idea why, but just whenever I go there, I don't have a console. I don't take one with me, so I just end up playing Diablo. Level 20.
Nice.
But I mean, if roguelike is the correct game genre or designation for this game, I'm not entirely sure. So yeah.
I mean. So, roguelike basically when you start off with like you start off bare bones, and then you'll go on runs essentially, and you will pretty much inevitably die on the run where you're trying to take down enemies and bosses, etc. And then there'll be different currencies in the game where you can probably use different monies on the run to buy stuff sometimes, and there'll be obviously other currencies as well where you can actually take back and keep that money and then upgrade as a whole, which is like a constant upgrade. Usually that's how they'll do stuff. And then you're always upgrading your character as a whole, and you'll probably have little augmentations on the run as well, which you can get, if you see what I mean. And then the ultimate goal of a roguelike game is to build up and build up and build up until you're strong enough to ultimately beat the game in one run without dying, if you see what I mean, because you've become stronger and stronger and you've got further and further and gained more and more abilities as you go. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm just wondering if you're sort of like, if that's a pertinent hint there to say you've got to play Hollow Knight in steel mode or soul mode.
I love it. You should. That was definitely a challenge for you. Yeah, that still soul mode. Yeah.
I don't know.
No, see, that's not like a roguelike, because that's just like basically a double R bastard mode, really.
I went to the one college and I thought, oh my goodness, it's time. I'm going to get served by the Queen, tea and biscuits.
Yeah. Have you done the Path of Pain yet? Just quickly.
I'm going to ignore you now.
I keep trying to get VJs through the path of pain. Sorry.
Yeah, if you haven't played Hollow Knight, that's your own problem.
Yeah.
If anyone understands what we're talking about.
Brilliant.
You're not really a gamer. Anyway,
yeah, that's facts.
Sort of get back on topic.
Yes, indeed.
One leaves the chat. I cannot just to avoid the conversation about every title being an echo chamber. I just looked at this game completely raw. Just with half a mind, so forgive me if I have some of this wrong, but I try to pinpoint first and foremost the accent of the female narrator over the top of the gameplay in the intro trailer that you sent.
Yeah.
And then sort of succumb to the fact that it was indeed a poor choice or curated spoken voice, and the publisher, Focus Home Interactive, or the producer the project should have chosen, shall we say, more wisely. And I completely understand that you may say that's irrelevant, it's subjective or not. Perhaps you even enjoyed it, right? But the point for me, at least, inwardly looking, of course, is it could have been improved upon, or better still, since especially when presenting a new IP. I think that sort of thing is imperative, important, if not critical, right? And we talked earlier about projects being hugely successful and then sometimes not quite hitting the mark, and you wonder why. So and I think when the public is conceiving viewing or taking in a new IP, it's really important for them to be engaged with it fully. So that was a slight distraction for me. And again, I go back to the point: PR and marketing are critical. There are so many elements and nuances that make up presentation and representation that need to be carefully marshaled, right? These points and aspects of a new product, and perhaps even policed and I guess reviewed is a better term internally, right? Because for me, you may say, well, this is just a really small point that you're talking about, but as I said before, for games especially, the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. If you're sort of catching a whiff of my drift, and I don't mean to be rude by that. So, I don't know if we're running short on time, but I've got some more I wanted to talk about. But it's So I can stay there or carry on, whatever you like.
You can finish up if you want to, buddy.
I might be here for another couple of days, but I do remember Focus Home from decades back, and they used to place back then when PC games were packaged, right? And I don't know if everybody in the chat or on the panel is old enough to remember, but they used to place PC content on spindles exclusively in supermarkets and games. That's how they used to struggle getting games into retail, let alone sell through their products. So they have slowly but surely carved or built their company, carved out a niche or built their company over a long period of time, and ensure that they develop and or publish games that make a profit first and foremost. They don't often have a commercially or critically acclaimed breakout title. And the last one or two I can remember, and again, panel chat, please feel free to correct me, is I think it was a Sobo Studios Plague's Tale, if I'm not mistaken.
Maybe.
And another game that I think that they published on PC, which I have a few friends that play an incredible amount of, is Divinity 2 from Larian Studios. I mean, I don't want to talk about too much about the studio, the publisher, right? But they do have a history, and I was looking at Passtech's sort of history of games, and they kind of release a game every couple of years. So I don't know if they only have one team or 1.5 teams, and so on and so forth. But when I found out that they were in Belgium, I just couldn't help thinking about Fabrique Belgique, as Del Boy would say. But I'll probably stop there.
Okay, no worries.
If you're wondering who Del Boy is, he's the Castella King and the Pina Colada connoisseur from Peckham, who is pretty fluent in most European languages, and you should hit him up on Twitter.
You should hit him up. Oh my God, I'd love it if you use that terminology with him as well. Del Boy, hit him up. That's great, BJ.
You're never going to be invited back on this show.
No, it's lovely. It's lovely. It's a delight, sir. Thank you very much. No, that's great. Yes, so let's fire this one finally over to Mav and see what I'm interested to hear what he thinks of this one. Is it grabbing your attention, Mav, bro?
Oh, I'm all over this, dude.
Sweet.
Yeah, 100%. Like, it just, it's one of those games. Sometimes it just looks like, hey, this is made for you.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I know what you mean.
The style of it, the way the combat looks, the way that they have the puzzles and the loot system, everything about it just screams to me that, hey, I'm going to enjoy my time. It kind of almost gives me like Dungeon Siege vibes a little bit.
Nice. Not played that.
Also,
so am I frauding out big time?
Dungeon Siege 3 more specifically.
Right.
But I'll there's a lot of dungeon crawlers. To me, this is more like it has a rogue light elements to it, but it screams dungeon crawler to me.
Yeah,
and
definite
I just
dungeon crawler.
Yeah, hours back for years and years playing dungeon crawlers, right? And the fluidity of the combat, the pacing of the combat looks really good to me.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Aesthetic.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I feel like you can see that it would play well, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, some games almost look too fast paced, to where it's almost like, okay, there's just like so much action, like, and it's like almost like intimidating to jump into because it's going to be so frantic. Where something like this is more like, okay, it's more of a can be a relax, even though it has a lot of challenge because of the pacing, has a little bit more of a relaxing feel to kind of just chill and play, right? So
yeah,
I really like that about some of these type of games where you just kind of go into this mindless sink into like endless labyrinth of dungeons is what they say, of tunnels and stuff. And it's just like, well, what are you going to see? They also had this thing where they talked about that there's going to be a unique curse on each attempt. So that's going to switch up the tactics that you're going to have to take each time you make a run. So that's really intriguing.
Definitely, yeah. I like that. That's sort of it does keep it fresh, doesn't it? That kind of thing.
Yeah. It seems like so what VJ was saying about Focus Home Interactive, they've kind of lately they seem like they've been actually having some interesting titles. Like The Other Side was one that came out recently that is super stylized. If y'all guys haven't checked that game out, it looks really cool. It's like a tactics, brutally hard game. It's like got that red and black aesthetic.
I don't know if I've seen that.
They also had Greedfall.
Yeah, Greedfall. Yeah,
that had come out.
Yep.
But yeah, they also make the farming simulator games, Mud Runner.
Yep, that's right. Yep.
So it seems like they're doing pretty well over the last couple of years, and I think maybe it's helping make games like this more possible. Like like Other Side and Curse of the Dead Gods. So I'm excited to check this out. I can't wait. I'm gonna cross my fingers that maybe. Well, I'm gonna buy it day one. So
nice.
They didn't. This is not coming to Game Pass, right?
Oh, you were hoping for that? Sorry, you're gonna say
Yeah, I'm always hoping for. I'm always hoping for stuff coming to Game Pass, but even if not, like this is going to be a day one.
It's not been said anything, but usually Game Pass just gets kind of announced last minute, doesn't it? So probably just keep the sales flowing, if you know what I mean, or whatever.
Yeah, I mean it comes out in 3 days, guys.
Yeah, so it should be soon if it's gonna.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited for this.
If you did want, there's one thing as well. Like if you're on PC, if you wanted to pick it up, it's now in early access and it's $17.99 in the UK on PC, and I'm not sure whether it will go up when it goes to 1.0 release, essentially full release. If you are wanting to get on it, then you can get it now on Steam if that was the way you were going to get it. And you might save some.
Like I'm such like a console snob. I like PC. I like playing the PC games when it's only on PC and there's no other way to play.
Sure, no worries.
But like if I have a choice, I just like to turn on my Xbox and to access stuff that way.
Definitely, yeah. That's fair enough. That's your primary platform, so that makes perfect sense. Yes, I mean I'm PC. I've gone full PC pretty much, but I play occasionally on the Xbox more like now. But it's just where you feel you want to play more. But just generally speaking as well, though, guys, if you you are watching this and you wanted to get on before the actual release date, you might save a little bit of money by getting it on the early access price, because that might change. I think it has the potential to change on day one, if you see what I mean. But it might not, but it might. So if you
they typically do. They typically do.
That's what I mean. Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much.
That's a good call out.
Thank you.
I'm assuming it'll be 1.0 on the 23rd, because that's when the actual release date is.
Yeah, there's no early access on console, but on Steam it's early access now, and it'll be 1.0 by the 23rd. But like if you bought it right now, you would get it for $17.99 in the UK, and then you'll be saving money, because it might go up to like $23.99 or something like that. So anyway, that's just that. But so you're looking to jump on board potentially, or at least hoping maybe for Game Pass.
I'm a day one. I'm actually looking it up in the Xbox store right now.
Oh, nice, bro.
Just to
I wonder how much is there actually. Yeah, might have it. That's one thing about Xbox is I don't know if it's changed recently, but previously I think they need to get on their pre-orders, having games in the store like a year before, and like Steam does, you know what I mean? So you can actually wishlist the game ahead of it, because sometimes they just add them in at the last minute. I don't know whether there's a major difference in this.
Yeah, it says not currently available.
There you go.
So
Once again,
you can't even look it up.
That drives
me crazy about the storefront too.
Me too. It's so silly. Like people want to search games and wishlist them and keep them in the back of their mind. They would get much more sales and stuff. So it just makes zero sense to me. But anyway, that's the topic for another day. But awesome to hear you guys are all looking forward to this. I am really looking forward to it. Chat seems to be really liking what they see as well, which is awesome. I've seen let's go back to so Pong Soul was saying 11 fighting styles. Wow, that is a lot of flexibility. Love it, and definitely agree there, my friend. And who have we got here? So Venomous says he wants to review it, which is wicked, bro. Definitely look forward to seeing that if you do. And Fastback says it looks cool. I think Stubbs is all over it too. Daz says Tea and Biscuits is for... I won't say that word. I'll let you read that one, guys. Who else have we got? Anyone to say? But it seems to be going down well. And shout out to 108 Dragons TV in the chat. Thank you very much for coming by, my friend. Really appreciate your support coming by. And and thank you everyone else. And Tom Wild is in the house. Awesome to see you, Tom. Thank you so much for being here, bro. Always a pleasure. So yes, indeed. Let me know in the chat, as I say, if you haven't already. Are you going to be checking out Curse of the Dead Gods? Do you think you might check out day one? Hope for Game Pass. Purchase regardless. Is it up your street? Let me know. It's always great to read your comments, guys. But yes, indeed. So we will now be moving on to our next topic, which is we're going to do a little cheeky, what I'm calling sort of indie game shout-outs, essentially. So we're going to sort of dive into, we're going to pick like one sort of indie game that we want to shout out, whether it's upcoming indie game that's not out yet already, or a game that is already out that our panel, the guest guys on the show feel that maybe you should check out, that maybe more people should check out in general. And we're going to dive into that right now, and going to hear a pick from each of us on, like I say, our indie game shout outs. What I would also really love is to hear some indie game shout outs from the chat. If you guys have any indie games that you've played that you feel more people should be checking out, maybe a hidden gem, etc., definitely hit up the chat and I'll be sure to read those out. And yes, so let's jump into this. Hopefully I won't get major audio problems again. I think it's okay this time because I've got it set up differently. Yes, so that just reminded me that I'm doing it this way for this one. This is where I fail. Cool stuff. So maybe what I'll do is I'll pass this one straight over to Mav, and we will ask you, my friend, what is a game that you feel people should be checking out a little more?
Okay, so this was a game that I played with my wife and my daughter, and we absolutely had a blast. The only complaint I have is we want more of it. Like, it was over, and we can go back and replay stuff, but the game is Moving Out. So it is a couch co-op game where you go around and your goal is to get the furniture out of the house as fast as possible. It's one of those physics-based games, kind of like Overcooked in a way, where you have to work together. So you have time goals to beat. It's a blast. It's really a fun time. I wish it was online as well, so I could play with some of you guys.
Yeah,
right?
that's
the
a
only downside.
shame.
Yeah,
it is a shame about that actually, definitely. But like, loads of people were gutted about that, I think, because Overcooked 1 didn't have overline online, and then later on they added it in 2. So maybe they'll add it later, hopefully.
Yeah,
but yeah,
it's just it was a lot of laughs, you know, and it's a well-made game. Also,
yes.
like there's several houses to go to and try and complete the challenges. You have a lot of missteps. You know, the working together thing is real. You know, you got this like you see on the screen now. You got this toaster guy, and he just pops waffles out of his head randomly.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes the guys will just fart. You know, randomly.
Yeah,
too.
I've heard it. Yeah,
it's just like weird, silly stuff in this game all the time. And it's a hilarious, good time if you have any friends or family sitting down next to you and you want to play a game together on the same couch. It's absolute blast, and definitely. I highly recommend it.
It's a great pick, a really good pick, my friend. Yeah, like this was actually the first game when we and the wife went to EGX, the gaming convention in the UK. This was actually the first game we seeked out to play because we knew it was going to be there. Because we were major fans of Overcooked and Overcooked 2. We beat that game and loved it so much. This she's going to hate me, my wife, right now, but she found this game a little bit harder actually. I don't know if you found it a bit harder, moving out, that is. We managed to beat Overcooked 2 together, no problemo, but this one, it's like, you know, the sections where you have
have the opposite problem.
Oh, okay. Really?
We struggle with that. It's just so you feel so frantic.
That is so strange.
I don't know why.
Yeah, that's weird that it's just complete opposite. But yeah, like Overcooked, we love it. But yeah, we really like moving out. But like, she struggled a little bit on some of these sections where you have to. She doesn't game that much. You see, only rarely. So you have to be quite specific on your controls. You know, you have to do those sections like the carry it along, and then. Like there's like platforming sections essentially. Do you remember those bits in the game, in the arcade bit? But yeah, there's also like the arcade. There's also some of the later levels you have to kind of like. There's timing elements too, where you have to make sure you go across a section at a certain time because there's going to be an obstacle in your way. And you can repeat the same section over and over and over again trying to get through that. Yeah, that's the kind of thing.
And then run out of time. So those can be frustrating, but you end up working together in a good way eventually. Yeah, no, definitely. I love these sorts of games, definitely. There's actually been so many, since Overcooked, there's been loads of these types of games come up. There's one in production at the moment, which is like a hospital game where you have to sort of get the patients and sort of get them the medicine and stuff like that. There's a game called Tools Up as well, where you have to decorate houses and stuff, and they all have this kind of like cartoony aesthetic. So they've definitely inspired many, you know, with Overcooked and that. You're talking about 2 Point Hospital?
No, it's I forget the name of it. It's it's very much like this. It was in the Steam Festival recently. You control it. It's not like a strategy game. It's like literally like this, but you're just imagine this, but you're doing hospital stuff and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I'll find it after.
Right,
there's a name. It's got like a
so you can be chasing around people with a syringe.
Yeah, I did actually download it, but I downloaded
it right now.
It's quite comical. Yeah, definitely. I love that sort of thing. But it's got like a pun. The name's like a pun or something, a play on words. But yeah, I can't remember it right now. But yeah, great pick though, my friend. Moving out, definitely check it out, guys. If you like a bit of co-op action, and you've got someone you play with in the house, hopefully one day it will come to, you know, like being online, and then can play some more with you guys, etc. But Yeah, I have a feeling they may integrate it potentially. You never know. They did that with Overcooked anyway. But yes, let's dive over to my man GoForce next and see what he would like to shout out as an indie game kind of gem that he feels that more people should check out.
Yeah, appreciate the opportunity. I played a demo of a game called Dandy Ace the other day, and I know we're going to begin to sound like a broken record here, but it has the Hades look and feel and gameplay loop to it. I think it's plays a little bit slower than Hades, just in terms of the speed of the combat, but it still feels fluid. It's got a fun art style to it. It's got really good music. The thing I really like about it is you're picking up these well, they're not spells, but they're like abilities along the way, and you can slot them into those 4 positions below. At some point you're going to end up with more than one ability, and then you can combine them to create all kinds of different abilities on the battlefield. That was quite awesome.
Nice.
It is a very difficult game. But in fact, Meisuko was watching me stream at the time, and he was agreeing we need an easy mode because I was playing on normal and just getting my butt slammed in. But once you make it to
no pun intended, sorry,
point,
but
right? once you make it to a certain point in the game, that's where you get to that point where you can start turning in some currency and getting some passive and permanent upgrades to bring back into the next loop. But it's
nice.
It's got a fun little art style.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're gonna have built out in terms of the story. If it's gonna be as strong as Hades, not sure on that. But it's fun. I recommend everybody at least checking out the demo. It's going to come out March 25th. It's from a studio called Mad Mimic out of Brazil. They made a game called No Heroes Here previously.
Okay.
Which is like I don't know. It's kind of like a base defense type game.
Right, sure.
Pixel art. It looked neat. I didn't grab it, but this one's good. Goofy little story about 2 magicians that are upset with each other because one is more popular than the other, and he stole his fans. So the one sold his soul, of course, to get some powers and trapped our Dandy Ace in the dungeon here. So I enjoyed it. I think I'm going to check it out. I think others should check it out.
Nice. Very nice indeed, my friend. Yeah, it looks really cool. It's very cool art style, very different, kind of interesting theme to it as well, with the card thing going on. Does that play quite a big part in it? The card aspect, sort of is he a magician or something, or?
So yeah, if you have fantasies of living as Gambit, you definitely get the card throwing as one of your capabilities, and then you can stack other abilities on top of that. So yes, it's loaded with cards, and they've included other techniques that would come out of like your magic tricks of the world.
Nice.
So it's charming in that way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, definitely. Nice art style. It looks really interesting. You definitely love your roguelikes too, and definitely would trust your opinion on them. So
I'm into it. I'm into it. Check it out.
Awesome,
Check
bro.
it out for sure.
I like it. Good stuff. That was a fantastic pick, because I think that's quite under the radar-ish. If you may disagree, I'm not sure. It's under my radar anyway until you spoke about it. So thank you very much for that, my friend.
I think you're totally right. Yeah, as far as it being under the radar, I hope it doesn't get run over by all the other games. Check it out. $0 for the demo.
Exactly. So the game 25th of March for the full release, is it? Yeah, I think it is. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Nice. So yeah, check out the demo for sure, guys. Nothing to lose. That is wicked. Great pick, my friend. And let's move on to my man Puxley and see what he's got up his sleeve for a hidden gem that he thinks more people should be checking out.
Yes. So my pick is a game made by a solo dev called Thomas Brush, who he has his own Unity game development channel if you'd like to check out what he does. But he last year he released his second commercial title. It was originally named Once Upon a Coma. Before release, he renamed it to Neversong. It's a really good, really interesting 2D platformer, story-driven game, which kind of talks about kind of tragedy and loss and kind of how to overcome those things. But at the same time, as you can see on the screen now, it's also got these elements of 2D platforming. There's some puzzles. You've obviously got a bit of light combat in there. If you're sitting down and playing the whole game, you could probably run through it relatively quickly in about 4 to 6 hours, depending on how quick you play. But this is definitely something that I really liked. The look of the art style was really good. I really like the animations. They're very simple yet very effective. There's actually voice acting in the background if you can't hear the audio, which is very interesting.
Hopefully they go for the first time.
The character design is interesting on some of the bosses, as you saw there. But yeah, it's got like a weird kind of dark vibe to it. It's not a horror or anything, but it's got a bit of a dark vibe to it. Yeah, I say it's kind of a very lightly told story about kind of tragedy and how to deal with those kind of difficulties, whilst kind of summing up in a 2D puzzle platformer. So I definitely recommend you check it out.
Definitely, a really nice pick. I featured this one in one of my top 10s of the month when it came out, and the guy who I think I'm not sure if you mentioned it, but the guy who does actual like training for indie developers. Have you seen about that by any chance?
Yes. So I followed him on YouTube for a long time now.
I thought you might.
If anyone in the chat is interested in trying to learn some game development yourselves, this guy Thomas Brush again is his name. That's his YouTube channel name as well. He's released like a full course on how to make an indie game, but not just the programming and technical side, but also how you market a game, how you create the art, how you like what to know and what to avoid and what to be aware of when it comes to publishers if you go down that route. Be aware though that this course I think is worth about $400. It's quite a lot of money. I would argue there are some cheaper alternatives out there to at least start you off.
Sure. YouTube
websites like Udemy, for example, are quite good.
I know that one.
Like beginner, like if you just want to get a taste for it with a bit more proper coaching, you can get some courses there for about $20.
Nice.
But he's got like a full kind of case study style development process of how he teaches you. So definitely check this game out. He made this game. If you want to find out what his process was, definitely check out his YouTube channel and see the course and see if you want to try and make games. That
is very. I love the giving back, and I've watched actually some of his like videos. I haven't watched the actual training thing, but something advertising the training thing, if you see what I mean. And really cool guy, and he made Pinstripe as well. You know that anyway, I'm sure.
Yes.
That was his first game. Both these games have that sort of kind of what's the word? It's escaped me for some reason. No, it's totally gone, the word. I know it will come to me later. But that kind of dark themes anyway. What's the word? It's so annoying. No, it's kind of like, like I say, dark and but addressing these sort of themes which he's not scared to address in a cool way. Kind of like Nightmare Before Christmas kind of vibes in a way as well. With adding the darkness into these topics. I think it's very cool. I like his style. It's definitely, you can see from Pinstripe to this game, the style you can see. I love that way when you can see even though they're different games, you can still see their style kind of coming through in the game.
They're very similar, aren't they? This Neversong to me looks like a more refined Pinstripe in terms of the art style, if that makes sense.
Yes, indeed, definitely.
I think the guy, he spent about 5 years making Pinstripe originally, like again learning the process, learning the ropes, but then it came to this one, he didn't want to waste so much time doing it, so he obviously kept his scope down, and this is what he released, and I think it's very good, and I want people to check it out.
Nice.
And I suppose in terms of checking out his channel, just a quick plug here as well. Like if you like Animal Crossing, he's actually recently done like a tiny kind of game demo that he showed where he made like an Animal Crossing third-person shooter.
Oh, wow.
Which is interesting. Like, it's on his channel as well, so just go check it out. It's just a bit of fun. I think you can play a demo of it maybe, but...
Nice.
If you like that kind of thing, like mixed mash of things and just having fun with a bit of game dev, he does that stuff as well, so definitely check it out.
definitely. That's fantastic. And the word has now come to me. Melancholic is the word I was looking for. Would you agree?
Oh, perfect.
Yeah,
Yes,
finally,
definitely.
it never comes when you want it. You know. But there we go. Sorry about that. They're fantastic pick there, Puxley. Really, really good. That, you know, for several reasons, that's a great pick, my friend. And VJ sir, I've got a pick lined up for you, my friend. And yeah, what pick is it you would like everyone to check out?
I have no idea.
You don't know what it is. I didn't disguise that very well. I believe VJ was talking about Backbone a little while ago.
I'm starring the lovely Hornet.
Yeah. Yes, I remember you talking about this game, and I know how much you're looking forward to it. So what would you like to say?
I you know, when we were chatting, I don't remember. I mean, I typically just watch your channel and then a few other bits and pieces, you know, that people put, you know, as a background video. But I do like the look of you know, the sort of noir looking adventure that it's portraying. And,
absolutely.
And again, you know, once I saw it, I remember back then, I went to see, you know, is it an indie game? Is it being published? And then, you know, I saw, I think it's Fury or something, the publisher's name.
Right.
And then via that, I believe, I saw that they were also releasing another game at the time, which was called Call of the Sea. And I did play and complete Call of the Sea, which I did enjoy very much. I mean, I did flapdoodle throughout the experience somewhat with a few that were incredibly infuriating, and I indeed had to seek help, not from Mav, because I saw his stream and he was struggling, so I thought I better not bother him. So it's and Assassin Looper was on there and screaming in the chat, "Do this, do that! Don't go there. You've been there already." And it's like, oh god, really stressful. It's quite stressful. But anyway, I mean, the reason I mentioned Call of the Sea is because Backbone shares the same publisher, so you know, I really did.
Raw Fury, yeah. Yeah, developers Eggnut is apparently, I think. So yeah, point and click style, isn't it? This one, but like really cool aesthetics, isn't it?
Yeah, beautiful, and I think it goes back to, you know, the game we discussed earlier today, right? I forgot the name of it already. Embarrassing. But a shout out for the game Dendara, I think, as well. Someone sort of mentioned in the chat, which they've begun playing. It's in Game Pass as well, but again, it shares the same publisher. So perhaps Backbone will. Well, I hope it does really well and then appears in Game Pass. And I mean, I'm a huge advocate of Game Pass for the moment, I might add, right?
Yeah.
Until it takes a turn, or if the community can keep it on the straight and narrow. And you know, Game Pass. I know we talk about it, and can it go in Game Pass? Can it go in Game Pass? I think at the end of the day, you know, I think however you look at it, it's a huge, regardless in terms of a giveaway that it is for the community and fans of the service. It's a huge, how can I put it, a second bite of commercial revenue for many developers and large publishers.
Yes, exactly.
So and as we were saying, you know, if a game's been poorly marketed, poorly made aware, if it comes up against huge competition, the awareness that Game Pass creates, I think, is a huge positive, and especially for you know, a breakout developer or a game. I mean, I understand Fury is publishing it, but I don't know the exact name of the developer that's making the game.
I think it's Eggnut. Eggnut. I believe.
Insult me.
As in egg, but and then a nut after.
Oh, I thought you were insulting me.
Oh dear. Beautiful.
Yeah, I am looking forward to it, and as I say, you know, there's so many different games. Listening to Mav, and he plays so many different types of games, and especially when he's streaming and so on and so forth. So again, you know, depending on what I've played, and then, you know, if you want a slightly different pace of game, you know, because I played Day of the Tentacle, and I played not Leisure Suit Larry. What was the other game that was in there? Full Throttle.
Full Throttle, yeah. And Grim Fandango.
Not Grim Fandango. There was another one. Day of the Tentacle. and I played both of those, and they were really great, and they're really great change of pace. And then again, I think it's sort of around about the time when I come across a Backbone, and I was chatting with you about it in the DMs. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it, and hopefully it's sort of lives up to expectations. And
I think it looks really cool. Sorry, go on. Sorry, I cut you off.
Yeah, no, I try. I know you're running the video, and I'm not looking at it on purpose because.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I mean, we were talking on Boom's show in terms of discovering games again, like we did in the 90s. Not sort of being, sort of games being heavily molested, right, in the press and in the PR. I know that it serves a purpose, and it does help small indie developers and so on and so forth. But I really enjoyed the 90s when you order Japanese video games based on cover art and the developer or the publisher, right? There were some of the best publishers were incredibly consistent back in those days. Even EA were consistent with their quality of games back then. So it's, for me, what I miss about the 90s is being able to discover games, not just through recommendations, but for myself, not knowing anything about it, plugging it in and saying, wow, what a great experience. And as soon as I sort of saw this game, I thought, you know what, just stop watching it when it comes, go play it, and then see if it sets your world alight or not. So yeah, I'm going to stop waffling on now.
No, that's cool. If you're sold, you're sold, then that's all good. Yeah, no, I mean it's good to see point and clicks still being made. I think there's actually been quite a lot of good ones recently. I've got a few in my backlog to play actually, like Giba Sakufulu Adventure, which looks really, really cool. I need to play that game. The artwork's amazing, and this one looks really, really fantastic. I think I really like the noir style, some of the lighting, and the pixel art's really nicely done, I think. Yeah, fantastic. They're great stuff there, VJ. And I'm just going to quickly say one of my one, and then I think we should probably round it up there. Just going to quickly, like I say, shout out one for myself, if you don't mind. I'm just going to slap this bad boy on here. And if you haven't heard about this... Sorry,
I was just going to say, I did take a peek at the video. I mean, the level of detail is it's immense, right, in this game.
Yes, exactly, yeah, that's why I put it up there, so it can, evoke some, opinion for you, so hopefully you can then sort of work off that. But anyway, and people can see as well that, but just before I move past that game as well, you can download the prologue on Steam at the moment of Backbone, guys. So if you wanted to download that on Steam, you certainly can do right now. The prologue is available for free. It's not out yet, of course. Backbone, it's coming at some point to be confirmed. But yes, another game which you can download the prologue of is Unbound Worlds Apart. Little segue there. First time ever. So that is the game we're looking at right now. This is my pick as a hidden gem, which I highly recommend checking out. It's a Metroidvania game. I played this on stream. Really, really enjoyed this game. I am a big fan of Metroidvanias. Don't worry about that date. This is an old trailer. This one does it really well. It's got some really cool sort of mechanics in the game. Like I say, I did stream it on the channel, so I will, hopefully, if I remember, I will put the link up, which will pop up at the screen right now, to this stream if you wanted to check it out, or I'll drop it in the comments or something. But yes, so Unbound Worlds Apart, it's a Metroidvania game. It's got like a portal mechanic, which is really cool, where you have to sort of flip between two worlds, and often that will play a part in the puzzle solving in the game. I just highly recommend checking out this one. Like I say, right now you can check it out on Steam and play the demo of it. Actually, my man Fastback checked this one out too. He streamed a little bit of it as well, so glad to see that. I hope you enjoyed, my friend. But like I say, there's some cool sort of mechanics going on where you flip it upside down, walk on upside down. You have to sort of jump in weird ways. As with all Metroidvanias, you discover different areas, open up areas, and that just always appeals to me. And I really dig the art style of this game as well. It's very sort of like poppy and colourful, vibrant, and nice story going on as well. Just a game that I definitely want to shout out for today. I'm going to keep it quite short for myself. Check out Unbound Worlds Apart. It's coming to all consoles as well, by the way, guys, but at the moment you can get it on, you can get the prologue on Steam and play it ahead of launch. But yes, that is gonna do us, I do believe, for today, guys. It has been an absolute blast. Thank you all. Just seen Infinite has popped in. How are you doing, Infinite, buddy? Thanks for coming in towards the end, my friend. Really good to see you. Excuse me. Yeah, like I say, it's been an absolute blast today, guys. Thank you so much, everyone who has come by for this show and, you know, hung out with us to chat some indie games. Sorry about all the weird audio. I messed up like 4 times or something. So next time I will be well prepared for that situation with the new setup of the way I'm doing it now. But yeah, thank you so much, everyone who's come by to watch the show today. And a huge thank you to all of the guys who've hung out with me on the show as special guests. You truly have been special, and it's been a blast hanging with you. I'm going to say thank you firstly to my man Mav. I said it first right this time, not Fun Speculation, Mav. And thank you so much, Mav, for coming on. You are an absolute legend, bro. I always love hearing what you've got to say, and especially hanging out with you on a show to chat some games. Always bring awesome stuff to the show and awesome takes, and I really appreciate you coming on, my friend. So thank you so much for coming on. And where can they find you, my friend?
Well, thanks for having me, Andy. It was a blast talking games with you guys, all of you. Super appreciate it. You can find our content over at the Fun Speculation YouTube channel, where we have the Xbox Ultimate Podcast, which airs on Friday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. You can also find me on Twitter at Fun Speculation, where you can catch some of my nonsense. Hey, and also tomorrow is the premiere of a new podcast.
Oh,
airing on Fun Speculation YouTube channel at
exclusive
3 p.m. Eastern Time.
3 p.m. Eastern.
And it's called Fun Pop.
Fun Pop.
Yes.
Nice.
We're going to talk about movies, TV shows, games, and more. All things fun and kind of geeky pop culture stuff. It's going to be awesome, a fun time. And on that show, we'll be having Psychonauts and 3-Bit are going to be there every week. So super looking forward to that.
Awesome.
We're going to have some awesome interviews coming up and everything.
That sounds great.
So yeah, man, tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern.
Tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern. Fantastic, bro. That sounds fantastic. Oh, with the branching out of the Fun Speculation brand as underway. It's great to see,
it has
buddy.
begun.
Yeah, the world domination has been initiated. I love it, though. It's great to see, bro, because you do awesome stuff, and you know you deserve, you know, to be growing and growing like you are. It's fantastic to see that. And thank you once again for coming on. It's been a ton of fun. Good
Thanks,
stuff.
Andy.
That's my pleasure.
Your show is awesome.
Oh, cheers, bro. I really appreciate that. It's very kind of you. And yeah, so moving on for that, we next we have another great guy who was absolute legend today. It was the first time we got to hang out, and I knew it would be awesome, and it certainly was. He loves his indie games, as I said earlier, and he certainly brought some awesome indie takes today. Thank you so much for coming on, Goat Force, bro. You know, you're welcome back anytime, my friend. You were awesome today. Where can they find you, bro?
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, it was an absolute pleasure. I really enjoyed it. Great people, great topics, great community. Really had a blast talking to you all today. You can find me at Goat Force on Twitter or on the YouTube channel Goat Force Gaming. And I will be playing Rogue Legacy 2, Dandy Ace, and you know, probably some Curse of the Dead Gods.
Ooh.
It's probably going to happen. Let's just face facts.
Nice.
But yeah, thank you all so much for having me. It was a pleasure.
Oh, you're awesome, bro. You did amazingly well. Definitely a rising star. Definitely go and sub to this man, as well as obviously Mav too. Sub to his channel. All the links are in the description below. But yeah, definitely give Goat Force a sub as well, because you know he's you know relatively early in his journey essentially, and he deserves a lot more subscribers. And the streams he does are awesome. Brings attention to great games which are like often going under the radar once again, like we said. And yeah, definitely get over to the links below, to everyone's links below, and give them a little cheeky tickle, and then a subscribe or a follow over on Twitter. But yeah, thank you very much again. Go Force, you rock, bro.
Absolutely.
Good stuff. And I'm just going to go down the list here. So thank you. I want to thank my partner in crime, the two amigos, essentially, from this show. Always an absolute blast and an honor to be able to do this show with this guy. Always brings amazing takes. And it was a pleasure hanging with him again today. Thank you so much, Puxley. You are awesome, brother. And where can they find you, my friend?
No problem at all. Indeed, again, thanks again for having me as part of the panel on the show. As always, I love talking games with most people, if not anyone, and I especially have a soft spot for indie games, so I definitely love being as part of this show to talk about that.
Oh, that's awesome,
again,
bro.
Mav, I've spoken to you a number of times. Great to speak to you again on this topic of gaming. Goat Force, first time I've been speaking to yourself. Been great listening to you and talking with you and being part of the panel. And of course, VJ, I mean, we've obviously done a number of shows together now. It's very great to hear from you and see you again as well. But yeah, definitely, I've really enjoyed my time here tonight. You can find me on Twitter at PuxleyAR. I also mainly reside on the Green Pass Gaming podcast. If you don't know about that, you can also YouTube Green Pass Gaming to see our content there as well. I would ordinarily say you could follow Green Pass Gaming on Twitter as well, but unfortunately, the Twitter handle itself had a bit of a hacking incident. So that's
annoying, isn't it?
That is offline at the moment. So it's through our personal channels at Flap2 for the main host of that show, or myself at PuxleyAR is where you can find me.
Awesome, bro. That is fantastic. Yeah, thanks so much again. You really do always bring absolutely awesome takes and passion, as I always say. But you're a great guy too, and having someone that's really down to earth like you to be able to do this with means everything, really. To bounce stuff back off, and you're always so on the ball, not like me, Mr. Bumblebee, all over the place.
I wouldn't say that at all.
I try. Well, try to get there, if you know what I mean. We'll get there one day. I'll finally crack it. But yeah, it's great to have someone as rock solid like you, my friend. So thank you so much for being part of it.
I appreciate the kind words. Thank you.
No, my pleasure, bro. And finally, VJ always bringing amazing articulate comments and amazing takes as always, VJ. We should do like an 8-hour show with you one day, my friend. I'm sure you would fill it all with amazing takes. But thank you so much again for coming on. You're not only awesome on a podcast, you are a great friend too, bro, and it's always a pleasure hanging out with you. So yeah, I know you don't like saying where people can find you, but what would you like to say on your parting words?
I think I've said enough today, but I'm always a little, not a little reluctant to come onto indie game shows, and it's just because my knowledge is and breadth and depth isn't quite where it should be, and compared to Mav, Goat, Puxley, and yourself. So in that instance, as I was just saying to somebody in the chat, that I hope I measured up somewhat today and didn't put everybody to sleep. But
never.
Yeah,
you definitely measured up more than enough.
So I just wanted to say thanks for pushing me to come on, and I do appreciate it. I do need to get out a bit more. Thanks to everybody on the panel and the passionate community in the chat. And you can find me next on Midweek Gaming with Stubsan and his crew, and obviously someone on there really well, Removable Sanity.
Yeah,
I think is an extremely underrated and an incredibly intelligent podcaster, shall we say, and someone I really enjoy listening to.
Definitely.
And I often say to him, and I don't mean it in jest, is that if I can't make a show, I'd like to think that we're perfect stand-ins for each other, because his vocabulary and takes are quite phenomenal. But I've said all of this, and I said it before, and I still didn't get a Valentine's gift.
Yeah.
So yeah,
outrageous.
I'll keep all my Del Boy comments, Only Fools and Horses, and Rodney takes for next time.
We should do an Only Fools and Horses cast one day.
I think it would be massive.
That sounds great. Yeah, no, I definitely agree with what you said there, my friend. It was great having Removable Sanity on last time. And yeah, check out the midweek gaming on Wednesday with Stubbsy Baby in the chat. How's it going, Stubbsy? Good to see you again. I know you've been here the whole time, but thank you very much for being here, bro. And VJ, my friend, you are awesome. Thank you so much for being a part of this show today. It's been awesome. Excuse me for having to keep replaying this video. I'm just using this till the end now, guys, as you may be able to tell. Yes, but let's wind this up. It's been absolutely phenomenal. I want to thank you quickly, the chat, one more time. Sorry, I nearly forgot to thank you one more time. Wind that back a second. I want to shout out you guys before we just toodle off. And I want to shout out Stubbs Gaming. Thank you so much for the support today, my friend. Awesome to see you in. Infinite, my bro, thanks for coming by at the end, bro. It means a lot. The Dazinator, always bringing the hot takes in the chat there. Always bringing the filth to the chat, which is always welcome in some random way. Yeah, it's great to see you, Daz. And yes, who else we got in? We had Tom Wild in. Thank you very much for coming by, Tom. Avish was in. Back from the dead, thank you so much for coming by. He says I should get a list of Metroidvania games from me, especially if they're in Game Pass. It's one of my favorite genres as well. Awesome. Well, that may be something I should do. Maybe we should do a Metroidvania topic on the podcast and do our top picks of Metroidvania sometime, just for you, Back from the Dead, and that would be fun. Yeah, cool, buddy. Well, I like that. Yeah, thanks for being here anyway. Pong Soul, you're a legend. Thank you very much for being here, bro. Always is a pleasure. Venomous, my friend, awesome to see you. You were awesome on Stubbs Gaming show, and yeah, awesome to have you in the chat today, Venomous. Thank you very much for being here, and I'm looking forward to your Curse of the Dead Gods review, bro. And who else do we have? Mike from NLG, awesome to see you in, Mike. Always is. You're a great guy. Thank you so much for being here. And who else did we have? Judzilla in the house. Thank you very much, Juds. Meisuko, Dragon Wolf. Cyber Gunter was here. Sorry I didn't catch you earlier, bro. Caitlin was in. Thank you so much, Caitlin. You rock big time. And Dragons TV was in. And everybody else, if I've missed any of you guys, I apologize. You are all awesome, and it means a lot to have you in, guys. Thank you so much for that. If you are watching this show after, Stubbs has just reminded me that I do timestamp. So if you do, I will be timestamping that. Thank you for reminding me to do that, Stubbs, because I need to. I do all the time. But yeah, if you're watching after, be sure to drop a comment if you fancy. Let me know, if you're interested in any of the games you saw today, or if you wanted to, bring my attention to it. I always love bring my attention to any new games. I always love hearing about it. But yeah, most of all, thank you so much to literally everyone for watching and being part of this community. It means a lot, bringing the attention to indie games, a community around indie games. I just think it's fantastic, and I hope we can keep growing it more and more. But yeah, final time, thank you so much, guys. It's been a blast. I'm going to be back in 2 weeks for the next Indie Games podcast, which is the first Saturday of the month. But until then, I will catch you in the next one. Thank you so much, everyone, again for being here. And later, guys.